Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
It's like herding bloody cats getting Whale and Ash out of the studio. Flippin' heck. Busy show tonight, dear listener. Busy show.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Now that, dear listener, is a song. My my prep for the show this evening has been going through my Stephen Stills, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Stills Young, Manassas, Buffalo Springfield collection on my iPod, and going, well, which one do we play? I don't want to play, the obvious ones, the Love You On You With, and, what's those, Something Happened. I don't want to play those. Those are obvious. So, we went for it. Well, it's slightly obscure, Buffalo Springfield. Stephen Stills, right, is one of my favourite rock stars in the world. He's just absolutely, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. The guitar, the voice, everything. Amazing, right? And I cannot for the life of me fathom why he's not more respected, in the same way that Clapton is. He's a better guitarist than Clapton, easily. Better singer than Clapton, better songwriter than Clapton. And for whatever reason, Stephen Stills is just not looked at in the same way, despite the Buffalo Springfield, despite Crosby, Stills and Nash, despite some amazing solo albums. And it's always been frustrating to me as well that there hasn't been a book about Stephen Stills, which strikes me so odd. It's hard to understand now. In the 70s, the guy was massive. Part of that has been rectified now by a new book by David Roberts, which is absolutely brilliant. He said, I'm only halfway through. The second half could be a turkey. I don't know. The first half is solid. Stephen Stills, change partners. And David joins you on the line now. Evening, David.
Hello, Ian.
Thank you for writing a book about Stephen Stills at last.
Well, it was my pleasure and my joy. I mean, as you can probably tell from reading the first part of the book, it's a labour of love as far as I'm concerned.
Why isn't Stephen Stills bigger? Why is he not up there with Clapton? Is it his own... I often think a lot of it is his own self-sabotage.
I think you're right. I think there's a certain amount of Stephen that doesn't play the game. He's not the kind of guy that enjoys interviews. He's not really anybody that's played the celebrity game particularly well. And good for him. I think you were talking earlier about comparisons with other people. Quietly, I would say the same thing as you.
Yeah.
What a great guitarist.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Clapton, but I'd also mention Jimi Hendrix, who he played with these guys. He was friends with these guys, and they taught each other, basically. Hendrix taught Stills the electric guitar and vice versa with the acoustic guitar. These are people that were in and out of each other's pockets at one time, and I would say whatever anybody says about Stills, and he's written some great songs, and he's a great lyricist and a poet, but his guitar playing is possibly the most underrated of any rock star, I would say, around.
There's a fact that I think pops up in your book, and I'm always glad to be reminded of it, because we just think the electric guitar has been around forever. But in the 60s, of course, the electric guitar was pretty new. When was the first electric guitar? 47 or something?
That's right, yeah.
So it was still a new instrument, you know, and it was people like Hendrix and Clapton and then Stills who, it was totally uncharted waters what they were doing on the guitar.
And most of these guys were tapping into the blues, which had been, sadly, an art form that had really vanished from the music scene during that period. But what was great about it was that Stills, when he came over to the UK, was very much tapping into what Clapton was doing, what indeed the Stones were doing around that time. Yeah. And he found people that were on his same wavelength. I think in the States, the folk scene was driving everything, and he was very much part of that, allied to, obviously, as you said, introducing electric guitar to music that really was mostly folk music, which, again, was quite groundbreaking, but it was his involvement in just tapping into that blues idiom that was going on over here. So he sort of copied a little bit of what the English Surrey boys were doing, as he called them. You'd also got Jimmy Page, you've got Jeff Beck, you've got Clapton. All of these guys were mixing the blues and recycling it. And Stills had this great grounding in the southern states of America. And he played with Greg Allman and all these other people. So you can see the catalogue of names of people that he was working with. It's no surprise that he developed into the guitarist he is today.
And he's
actually getting better now.
He's hard to categorise, isn't he? Because he's a bit of everything. He's a bit of country, bit of folk, bit of blues, bit of rock, bit of pop, a little bit of swamp. He can turn his hand to everything. And also, the first Crosby, Stills and Nash album, am I right that it's basically he's playing everything on there?
Pretty much, yes, and producing most of it as well. Yeah. I mean, the band was his idea in the first place. Let's not forget that he was desperately trying to find something that wanted to satisfy what he wanted to do in music. He found David Crosby. They added Graham Nash to the mix and produced some wonderful music. But yes, you're right. Most of the actual instrumentation on that album was Stills alone.
I always think, and I'm going to say something controversial, David. I always think that Crosby, Stills and Nash lost a little something when they added Young into the mix. I know that they became a bigger band and it made them into a stadium band as opposed to an arena band, but there's just something that sits uncomfortably with me.
Can I disagree with you a little bit?
You certainly can. Of course you can. That's what you're here for.
I think what Neil Young brought to the mix was an extra edge and a danger to the music that they didn't have quite with Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Yeah.
There was some great mood music in stuff like Wooden Ships, all sorts of stuff that was going on the first album. But I think once the keyboards came in and a harder, rougher edge to the music, there's some wonderful rock music on Deja Vu, which is, of course, the first album where they introduced Neil Young.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favourite albums of all time. And although it's very hard to choose between those first two albums, my first introduction really was through Deja Vu. So I was looking back at the Buffalo Springfield. I was looking back at Crosby, Stills and Nash, the debut album. But the first time I really noticed that something really exciting was happening was with that Deja Vu album.
Is it true? I love for me. I prefer the first album, the Crosby, Stills and Nash, and it's got that wonderful, iconic photo of them on a tatty couch outside house, taken by the fantastic Henry Diltz, who I've had the great pleasure of working with in various other projects. Who's a legend.
Wonderful man.
Is it true? Because they're sat in the wrong order. They're sat Nash, Stills, Crosby. That they chose that picture, but thought, oh, we're in the wrong order. Let's go back and retake the picture, and the house had been knocked down.
You couldn't make it up, could you?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They're sat there in the wrong order with the names. And let's go back. Oh no, the house is gone, man.
Yeah.
They were the Crosby, Stills and Nash, and of course with Young. They were a phenomenon, weren't they? Because they were the first super group where it was X was from one group and then Y was from another group and Z was, and you put these three and later four incredibly talented people together, and I think it's hard to remember. They were massive. They sold millions of records, didn't they?
They did, and it was so exciting at the time because it's almost so impossible to believe these days that major mega artists, which they all were in their own right, could actually be stitched together in a supergroup because they all had their own labels, they all had their own management. And in this day and age, or indeed in the 80s, 90s, and any other time after that, it was impossible to get around the legal aspects of getting these major players to play together. But that was the wonderful thing about this period in music, because not only did you get Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young playing together, but you got Stills playing with George Harrison, you got Stills playing with Hendrix. All of these mixes appeared on all sorts of albums around that time.
It's a very
wonderful.
It's a very incestuous period. You look at the track listing for Mama Cass albums and John Sebastian albums and Joni Mitchell, and they're all on there in the background. And you're right, to do it now, it would be heralded as, it would take contracts, it would take lawyers, it would be a huge thing, background vocals, but they would just, you're in the studio, can you sing backing vocals on this track? And they would just everyone would just appear on each other's records.
Absolutely, and Stills was a real studio junkie. He would, if he heard the Bee Gees were playing in Criteria in Miami, he'd be up the corridor, he'd be saying, "Can I sit in?" And of course, he's Stills. They're going to let him sit in. And he actually played on Jive Talking and one or two other tracks that the Bee Gees were laying down, without a credit in some cases on these major records. But Bill Withers, I think, was another great Ain't No Sunshine. You've got Stephen Stills playing the guitar on, wonderful records like this.
Yeah.
The catalogue amazed me because I knew a few of the tracks he'd worked on. One of my favourite Joni Mitchell records was Carrie, and I'd always loved the record, and it was only sort of 3 or 4 years after the record had been released that I finally realised, well, that acoustic guitar was Stephen Stills.
Yeah. How big a part was cocaine Stephen's life? Because I do think, and I'm not in any way condoning the use of drugs, guys, I get told off for sound like I'm encouraging drugs, I'm not. But I do think that a lot of the early stuff, he was able to be so productive in the studio because he was using a little bit of cocaine that would, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, that would give him the impetus. But it did cause him a lot of damage as well, didn't it?
Well, like any of the rock stars around that time, they discovered something that was new. They didn't know the implications. They were young. They wanted to stay up all night in the studio. I mean, that sounds ridiculous today, but Stills used to go maybe a whole day and a night without sleep if he was absolutely determined and as driven as he was to create the kind of music that he wanted to do. He would not leave the studio until he was happy that he got something set down. Others would come and go. I mean, there are stories of Crosby, Stills and Nash. Crosby and Nash going off, leading a pretty normal life, going for a burger, going back to the hotel, and leaving Stills in the studio all night. Now, you're right. You know, how do you manage to keep that, keep your end up when sleep is eventually going to crowd your creativity? And they tried all sorts of things, rock stars at that time. But I mean, as far as Stills was concerned, cocaine, the booze was another thing that actually ruined him during the 80s, and he always says that 80s didn't exist as far as he was concerned. But I think he had a very driven personality, though, you know, and I think even in the very early days, he was determined and so focused about wanting the right band, wanting the right sound, experimenting with all the stuff that he'd learned. And as you'll know, Ian, you've already mentioned the fact that all the mixture of sounds that he took on, soul, blues, folk music, weird combination of all these kind of music came through on some of the records that he produced. But of course there was that Latin aspect as well. Yeah. And I write in the book about his time spent in South America. He was lucky, or you could say unlucky, to be moved around as a teenager because his father worked all over the southern states of America and indeed down to Costa Rica and Panama and into South America. But the sounds that he was listening to, you can hear them filtering through on so many of his records, and particularly on some of the favourite music that I heard when he started the band Manassas.
Well, this is the thing as well, is I would love to have gone back and advised Crosby, Stills and Nash on how to run their careers. They were so prolific, as young people, you know, talented young people are. And I do kind of think that because they were releasing the Crosby, Stills and Nash albums, then they would release Crosby, Nash albums, then they'd release solo albums, then Stephen Stills would have his side project Manassas. And it all seemed to happen. A lot of stuff seemed to come out over a relatively short period of time. And I wonder, is there an element of them burning out? Because you're right, the 80s, for all Crosby, Stills and Nash, was pretty ropey. There are a few good tracks scattered around. It wasn't a complete write-off. I'm a big fan of the song 50/50. But the 80s generally, for Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young to a certain extent, were pretty ropey in comparison with the 70s and the 60s.
Well, you couldn't hold these guys back in the early 70s, as you've rightly said, with the output that was coming through. And it was all great quality stuff. But if there was a manager in the background, as you might have today, you know, telling them, whoa, guys, hold on, you know, we only need to release an album once a year. Let's save some good material. Yeah. There was no saving of any great material. There are certain Stills tracks that didn't get released until many years later that you think, well, that one must have fallen on the cutting room floor because that was a brilliant track and how that didn't make that early album. But they had so much great material that, I mean, the Stills debut album is one of those few albums, and I know people don't talk so much about albums these days, but there isn't a bad track on it.
Oh, it's a
you look at it and you think to yourself, well, where is the track that I skip when I'm playing, you know, the whole album on my iPod? And there isn't one. And, you know, these were absolutely wonderful albums with no fillers, but as time moved on and the rate of progress in developing the music slowed, they weren't innovators anymore. And I think that's the thing that you have to remember when you're talking about a lot of the musicians from that period. Once they realised they weren't innovators, they thought, well, do we start now to replicate the trend of music that we find ourselves in? can we find a new type of music to push ourselves on? But it just isn't going to happen, and I think that's when their creativity stops.
Oh God,
They
60s
realise.
bands recording in the 80s with using synthesizers and not understanding what synthesizers are is just. But of course, in the 80s, Crosby, Stills and Nash were weighed down by the fact that David Crosby was a massive crack addict, and yet they still tried to plough on and hide his incredible dependence on drugs. He'd go off during a concert so that he could take crack, but also look after him as well. Nash more so. The relationship between Nash and Crosby is stronger, I imagine, than between Stills and Crosby.
Yes, although weirdly at this point in time,
they've fallen out, haven't they?
That relationship has broken down badly because of all the toing and froing of comments that's been going on between Crosby and Young about their partners and their new partners. There will no longer be a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young as a result of the fallout in the last year or so.
It's incredible.
And that, to me, is a great sadness.
To see Graham Nash in interviews slagging off David Crosby, breaks my heart.
It is a guy who stood by David Crosby through thick, thin, and many times much more thick than you could ever imagine. It is such... you realise just how far he's been pushed.
Yeah.
And the poor guy now has said enough is enough. And that's a sad thing, because Crosby is now coming out with some great music himself.
Yeah, he's got his muse back.
And he's reinvented his quieter side, his more acoustic side. And I think one of the things that we should remember, there have been some huge troughs in all of these characters' careers, but at this moment in time, they all realise, I think, what they do best, and they're not trying to catch a current wave. They're not trying to reproduce the sounds that are going on in the 21st century. They're playing the kind of music that made them famous before, with so little extra in the background. These are really spare, beautiful acoustic and electric records that all of these guys are making, but they're tapping into their earlier self. And Stills has gone right back to the blues, as you know. Neil Young's still making some great records. Nash and Crosby, they'll never stop making music. But what they've found is what they did, and they created something special in the late 60s, early 70s. That's what they've gone back to, and with the new recording techniques, producing some great stuff.
How is Stills these days? Because I've seen Stills on his own at Shepherd's Bush Emperor. I think it was quite a few years ago, actually.
Me too.
I went. Were you there? I was working that day, and I said, I've got to finish at this time because I've got to get there to see Stephen Stills. And I rushed up to the venue, and the doors were locked. I'd gone to the Hammersmith Odeon by mistake, and so I had to jump in a cab and get over. And I caught him just as I think he was finishing the first set with Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, and he went, "Thanks, we'll be back in half an hour." I was like, balls. But I've seen him, and I've seen Crosby, Stills and Nash a few times, and I do worry about Stephen Stills, because I know I hope he's clean and sober now, I'm sure he is, but I know that he's abused himself a lot. I find it hard to understand what he's saying, almost as if he's got, and I've completely made this up, almost as if he's got ill-fitting false teeth.
I think one of the huge problems that he suffered from, as you may have noticed in the book, is even at age 9, his hearing was impaired.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that has meant that his speech, particularly in later life, is shot. His vocals are pretty badly shot these days. But it is mostly the hearing problem and the hearing aids that he's worn.
Is it? Right.
Not only in gigs when you can see he's got his hearing aids on, but in day-to-day life, this is something that he's suffered from quite badly.
Yeah.
And frankly, one of the reasons why he's very anti-interview, because most phone interviews done these days are not that easy for people that have got hearing problems like he's got. So his hearing is poor, which creates this problem with vocals. Any of the music that he plays these days, thankfully, there are other guys, as in the Rides, the blues band that he's now playing playing in, those guys can help him out. And actually, the music is the thing, the guitar playing is the thing that comes through. And boy, he's always saying this, my guitar playing still is getting better and better. And listening to the Rides albums that he's produced over the last few years, you can really believe it. He's still, as he says, he's still learning, but my goodness, his playing is as good as ever.
David, thank you so much for writing this. Honestly, I can't tell you the number of times I've scoured the internet trying to find a book about Stephen Stills, and to finally have one, and it's a good one.
Did I? That was one of the reasons
you ended up having to do it.
Enough's enough. I mean, I make my trade, for good or worse, as a writer, and it seemed quite obvious to me that if nobody else was going to write this, then I was going to have to.
What are you working on now? Have you got anything, or are you taking a break?
Well, no, I'm helping a couple of guys, a couple of roadies actually, who work with Black Sabbath on updating their book that will be coming out this Christmas, which is Black Sabbath, The Thrill of It All, to coincide, of course, with the end of Black Sabbath, which is going to happen in February at the O2 next year.
Oh, I bet those gentlemen have got one or two stories.
Stephen, certainly have.
David, sorry, the book is brilliant. It's Stephen Stills, Change Partners, the definitive biography. It's by David Roberts, Red Planet Press. I'm going to tweet a link so that people can go and put it on their Christmas list and add it. Thank you so much, David, and thanks for coming on the show tonight.
No, thank you for your interest, Ian.
Cheers, thank you very much. Honestly, it's Stephen Stills. Oh, if you don't really know him, just dive in. Just go and get a best of. Go and buy the first Crosby, Stills and Nash album. It's just, that voice. I'll tweet a link to the book. More. You remember the other week we talked about hybrid children, half alien, half human. Well, we've got a ufologist coming on in a minute, Professor Joseph Laevens, who can tell us more about it. If you want to call in and talk to the professor, you can. 0344 499 1000. We'll call you back. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So, we talked about this the other week, a story that was in the Mail earlier on in the year, reputable newspaper. So you know it's a proper story. It's not just some flim-flam that's out there. It was a super primal sexual experience. Group of women make extraordinary claim that they have hybrid alien children who live on giant spaceships. Hybrid baby community believe aliens have been harvesting their DNA. Two members claim they have 13 children fathered by extraterrestrials. They say their hybrid children live on giant spaceships with their fathers. It's absolutely incredible story. And the more I look into it, for your first thing, your knee-jerk reaction, oh, come on. Utter balls. Utter balls. Well, the more I look into it, the more I start to think, maybe there is something in this. 0344 499 1000. I'd love to get your views on this. There's a book out about it called Shadow of the Chosen, Progeny of the Truth, which is by Professor Joseph Laevens, FRCP. And I'm really pleased to say that the Professor joins me now. Professor, is it Joseph or Joe?
You can call me Joe. Joe is fine.
Okay, Joe. Tell me about hybrid children. What do we know about them?
Well, you summed it up pretty well yourself. It's from a super primal sexual experience. From what I understand, and my contention, my book Shadow of the Chosen, Progeny of the Truth, is that there are human beings that have given birth to alien offspring as a result of an encounter with extraterrestrial beings. These people, a number of these people, as you rightly pointed out, I believe it's in the Daily Mail. It's a publication every year.
Yeah.
Specifically belong to a hybrid baby community, believe that their children live on alien habitats.
It was a super primal sexual experience.
Yes,
it's described as the best sex these women have ever had.
Okay, I can't really comment on whether they enjoy.
What are the aliens doing that the Earthmen are seemingly incapable of doing?
Well, I would imagine they've got feelers, tentacles that they put. I don't know how graphic we can. A form of penis, possibly on their heads, like a tentacle. That is what I have learned. As people like Bridget Nielsen from Sedona, Aluna Verse from.
Are you
Los
saying
Angeles.
that the aliens?
What I'm saying that they put a tentacle.
That they have willies on their heads.
Pardon me, sir. Like a penis.
Like a dick. Sorry, a dick.
Okay, well, if you want to,
well, no, yeah,
use a profanity. But,
in England we say willies, and it's harmless. But yeah,
okay,
you say they have penises on their on their heads.
If we can catch these in these terms, an alien's willy would go from his head, into a lady's. I don't know what a front.
Would the alien lady's
bum? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Would and I'm going slightly off on a tangent, but where on the alien, on the lady alien, is her foof?
Her foof.
Her VJ. Nuna.
A lady. Well, I'm just using the terms you're using. I'm couching them in.
I didn't use Nuna.
No, noon. Okay, noon. Well, let's just say a lady's.
Wang Chung.
Wang Chung. As I understand it from this hybrid community, the hybrid baby community, the ladies have the Wang Chung in the usual place. It's perhaps more the alien that's using a willy on
their head,
maybe a cranial penis.
Okay. What evidence do we have, Professor? Because conveniently, by the way, 0344 499 1000 if you want to call in and speak to the Professor. We don't have any photographic evidence of these babies. We're told that the children live on spaceships. All we have are sketches drawn by, as you mentioned, the two women in this story, Bridget Nielsen, which is the strange name, and Aluna Verse.
That's right. There's an unfortunate name. It's not that. That's just purely a coincidence. Yeah. I've drawn if I just look here, I've drawn a little sketch here of what I imagine it. You can see the alien's penis coming down. And I've just done some shading. Well, I've done some shading.
Are you okay, Professor?
Pardon?
You okay?
No, I'm just referring to a diagram that I've made myself.
Okay, which I don't have.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. From what I'm looking at here, it was just some preliminary sketches I did at Washington, D.C. University. And it's as a result of this Bridget Nielsen, her report into exactly what she claims happened. We have an alien there with tentacles. We have her there. And she was just in her normal clothes because, according to her, she was... well, I don't know. She ended up. Wait, hang on. An alien head.
Sorry. Sorry. Are you describing? I don't want a description of the sex.
No. I'm giving you a description of the picture I've drawn.
Okay.
And she is looking.
Why has he drawn a pic? Why have you drawn a picture? I've asked, Professor. Sorry, maybe you misunderstood. Excuse me, Professor. I asked, what evidence do we have that these children exist? And you can't just talk about a picture that you've drawn.
I beg your pardon. I thought you said to me we don't have visual evidence. Now, a number of these women have drawn what they claim to be as their children. They've drawn what the alien habitat in which they were living.
Yep.
I am just a culmination of those firsthand details. I have drawn my own picture here. Okay. Perhaps it's not the right thing.
Well, it is. Please do. I'm going to ask you one more time, Professor, because I think it's important. What evidence do we have? Not pictures that you've drawn, or what actual evidence do we have that these hybrid children are real?
If you read my book, you'd realize that there have been many declarations of such experiences. I think we have, there is a lady in Wisconsin who claims to have an alien child with her. I don't want to name her now. I'm currently in negotiation with her. But she claims to live with an alien child.
Wow.
Now, I've seen
What do they eat?
Well, this particular one eats pretty much what we do.
And is it a boy or a girl?
That's on the debate. I don't know if these aliens.
Are there any lumps?
Gender.
Any lumps forming on its head?
There might be. There might be a lump on its head.
There might be a lump on its head that would grow into a penis. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. What's interesting, I think, about these two women in particular, I'm showing the picture to people watching on Facebook, is...
Not my picture.
No, not your picture.
I didn't send you. Okay.
No. But please do, and I'll tweet it later.
I'll scan it, send you the picture now.
Yeah, or you can take a picture if you've got a smartphone. Have you got a phone that's got a camera on?
Yeah, I have.
You can take a picture. You got to take a pic. When you finish the phone call, you could take a picture with that, and if you could just email it to me, then
okay, I will do that.
I can tweet it. You would expect, and I'm going to speak bluntly, right? You would expect the kind of women to be talking about this to be dumpy and ugly, right?
Right.
And these two women are very, very sexy. They're very sexy women.
Yes, sir.
Is that are aliens turned on, do we know, by the same things that that humans are turned on by? You know, the big eyes. We like big eyes, don't we? We like lovely, round, luscious breasts. We like firm, peachy buttocks. And we like a clean frou-frou. Are they turned on, and a naughty attitude? Are they turned on by that kind of thing?
Well, traditionally, aliens do have big eyes. You've seen them. You know, they got those big eyes, white faces, and a small chin. You know, it goes out in a kind of V, so that the eyes are big up top. I don't want to be too technical about this. I think from what this woman has described it as the best ever sex she had. Yeah. And that thousands of women around the world are missing out on such experiences because they don't realize that they have had hybrid children. Now, there are this woman is a former marketing executive. Yeah. And she says that all women on some level want to be taken
by an alien.
You know, taken by an alien.
Taken by the head.
That's right. And I think I'm not. I mean, I've looked at this woman's confession. Whether the sex is human sex, or whether they start up top and then move down, or it's the other way around. I don't know.
We're going to bring Peter into the conversation. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Iain. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Peter. You're through to the Professor Joe Laevens. What would you like to say?
Well, look. Hello, Professor. Where did you get your professorship?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians.
Okay.
I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Washington. I'm a UNESCO chair in the Transnational Challenges in Governance. What is your issue? I know what I'm saying is pretty... Let me finish. Can I finish?
Peter, let the professor finish, Peter. A bit of respect. Sorry,
I'm
Professor.
a distinguished scholar in residence at the Danforth campus in D.C. And I understand that what I'm saying is it's out there. It's, of course, it's doubtful what I say, but if you'd seen some of the evidence and the drawings that I've seen, you'd feel the same.
And some of the drawings you've made, of course.
Yes.
Peter, what's your question for the professor?
No, my question is, I mean, these ladies. I'm quite open to the fact that the universal or whatever's out there is big enough that there might be something else.
Yeah.
Right.
But, well, I mean, I don't want to be rude to them, but I mean, they just sound like they're not well.
They're not what?
Well.
Were you saying might have caught space AIDS or something?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sorely tempted.
With all due respect, it sounds like you're jealous of an alien
It does sound like you're jealous of the aliens, Peter, because you're
jealous of the aliens.
When was the last time you had sex with a lady?
Well,
you could do it like an alien, and some of the things I've heard that they do, they do it.
Well, I think a trip to Ann Summers and some super glue would sort all this out, wouldn't it? I don't think this.
So,
is
Peter, what do you, Peter? Do you not have any sympathy for these poor women? Okay, yes, they've had the best sex of their lives, right? But they don't get to see their children, Peter.
Well, I mean, do they actually have children?
Well, they've got space.
They do, sir.
Hybrid
yes, sir,
children.
They do. If you've had sex with, in some cases, aliens with 3 to 4 peni.
No, I never have.
Yes, you have. Have you not had that? No, you haven't. I know you haven't.
No.
No, I know. So all I'm saying is they have had children. They're very potent, the aliens. They have testicles that hang right down. I've seen it. I've seen drawings.
I mean, are they from their ears or whereby?
No, they're from the conventional place. They're not from their ears. Who's this guy?
I mean, that's a long tube, isn't it?
Yes, they've got a long tube. Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Peter, they've got a dick on their head, at least one. The length of the tube is almost irrelevant.
Yeah, but I mean, their bits are in the
Peter,
you're normal place.
Peter, you're obsessed with this. I'm going to let you go, mate. I'm sorry, Professor.
I really don't want to get into too much the specifics of how they're inseminated. This guy is.
Oh, he's gone. Don't worry, he's gone. I do feel sorry. For the mums, not seeing their kids must be heartbreaking for them.
Well,
or
they
is it?
can, from what I've heard, they can contact them telepathically.
Okay.
They might be speaking to them and finding out how they did at school today, which friends they're seeing up there. And according to these people in Sedona, Arizona, there is every chance that they will be communicating with their alien partner and the children daily.
Let's bring Jim into the conversation. Evening, Jim.
Good evening, Ian.
Jim, you're through to the Professor.
Professor, my uncle, it was a man called Alan Godfrey. Well, he still is a man called Alan Godfrey.
Hang on a minute. Sorry, was your uncle Alan Godfrey, or did he work for a man called Alan Godfrey?
No, he is Alan. Well, he still is Alan Godfrey. I haven't seen him in a long time, so I presume he's still alive. And he claimed to have been taken by aliens from a town called Todmorden.
Is that up in West Yorkshire?
It is in West Yorkshire, yeah. He was a policeman in West Yorkshire, and he claimed to have been taken by aliens and dropped on top of a...
Is he connected? This is ringing a bell. Is he connected with the Ziggy Adamski case?
Yeah, exactly,
Is it Ziggy? It's not Ziggy, it's Zygmunt Adamski, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. He originally investigated that case,
Yeah.
and then he got it into his head somehow.
Yeah.
That he'd
Had he had gay sex with an alien?
Of the very worst kind. No, so he'd been out on a patrol one night, and he said that he'd been taken. Well, he was a genuinely respected police officer, and he said that he'd been taken on
roughly.
He thought that there were about 5 hours of his time that had disappeared, and he went under hypnosis. And under hypnosis, he admitted that he'd been probed and things like that.
Wow.
So my question is that the same aliens, or is that something different?
That's a good question. Is it the same aliens that bummed Alan Godfrey? Are they the same ones that are getting these?
Him. He was very clear on that.
What? Sorry,
they didn't bum him. They inspected.
He would say that, wouldn't he? They just inspected him.
Inspected certain parts of him. He definitely was quite clear that he was not bummed.
By an alien.
By an alien, but he was definitely...
Did they have dicks on their heads?
No, he never mentioned that.
You would think that would be... Well, let's ask the Professor. Joe?
I'm interested to know. Are you all right, Ian?
Professor, you okay? I think we've lost the line to the Professor.
Oh, please no.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Hello?
Have you heard of Alan Godfrey? It's quite a famous...
No, I have not. I've heard about people being probed. I don't know whether is it your uncle?
It was my uncle, yeah. Well, he still is, but I haven't seen him for a long time. But he does claim it happened.
Do you get gay aliens,
Yes,
Professor?
sir, yes you do.
Do you really?
Yes, you do.
Wow.
I've heard of this.
Do you want to call them, Ian?
Galians. Galians, yes.
Look, I don't know whether this Adamski thing is serious. If your uncle Alan Godfrey was
Alan Godfrey, yeah. If you search for Alan Godfrey Todd Morden, you'll find a very interesting case.
Jim, the professor is trying to talk, so
I'm trying to speak about the bombing incident. Look, if he assures you that he wasn't, bombed by an alien's tentacle on his head, that is entirely consistent with these being heterosexual aliens. Now, I've heard about anal penetration from an alien, but not in this case, and that is not something I deal with in this book.
Okay. Just give us the name of the book again, Professor. So it's what is it? It's Shadow of the Chosen, Progeny of the Truth.
Yeah, that is correct.
And people can get that. I notice it's not on Amazon because normally I would.
No, it's not. It's from a paper. It's from a scientific paper, and we're bringing it out independently.
Okay.
But I'm going to send you this drawing, and if you want to, show that to your.
I can tweet that.
Please tweet it. Yeah.
Is there? And I'm going to be a bit base, but I'm just fascinated by it. When the alien has finished having sexual intercourse with one of these two young ladies, what men tend to do is they get a bit sleepy and a bit bored, and they just roll over. Oh, come and cuddle. Oh, no, I'm going to sleep. Do aliens have the same after-sex pattern as humans? Do they not?
No, they do not. They're very modern. They're very modern men. I mean, they quite often get up. They might make a hot drink for the human partner. Occasionally, they might go and record one of their shows that they want to watch, deal with the children, maybe phone up for some food, get a carry-out takeaway. And I'm sure that, not only does the woman have a shudderingly immense orgasm, but also the alien is very attentive. Will ask about their mother, maybe clear up their clothes from the bedroom floor.
Wow, so they're very, very modern. I just want to bring Gatford into the conversation. Gatford, you're through to the Professor. We've got a few calls waiting. I don't know if we'll get them all in, but Gatford, what would you like to say?
Thanks. Well, this whole thing scares me. I mean, it just puts the willies up. And just
that's a yellow. That's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. One more like that, and you're off.
Well, but it is very scary, Ian.
I think you're safe.
Yeah, fair enough. The question that I wanted to ask, Professor, what was the name of the book again? Progeny of something.
Oh, for
The Progeny of the Truth, Shadow of the Chosen.
Progeny of the Truth. Yeah, I'll look for that in the morning.
Could you please get to the question, Gatford? As I've got two other calls waiting.
No, it's fine. You mentioned that the aliens, after they've, I assume the ladies stayed in the spacecraft after they were pregnant, and it was a normal pregnancy.
That is correct. A normal 11-month pregnancy, alien pregnancy.
And you mentioned that they know how the children are doing at school. So that implies that the spaceship that they're on must be quite vast. It has a school. It has some sort of sterile hospital area.
There's a cinema. There's of course there's all manner of food outlets that you might find down here.
Do we have any idea how far these aliens have come? Because obviously they must have advanced technology.
Of course they do. They've got spaceships, Gatford. Of course they've got advanced technology.
They're very advanced. They've got those kettles that boil, just small amounts of water.
Wow. Very quickly, I'd imagine.
Very quickly. If you want, say, a cup of alien tea, and you only want one cup, you don't have to, for example, fill the kettle right up.
I think they have those. I think they have those kettles on Earth as well. Actually, you can just pour a cup in.
Not as advanced.
Maybe they've got one of those taps that you have in the kitchen that just brings out boiling water.
Yes, probably some of them.
Yeah.
As well,
Okay.
yeah.
JP Devlin, who works on BBC Radio 4, which is very, very big
I know
station. Not in terms of listeners, but just in terms of weight.
Right.
He's asking, where is this guy a professor, and of what?
Oh, I think we've been through this.
Yeah.
Mr. J.P. Devlin.
Yeah.
Do I have to go through this again? I'm Professor Joseph Laevens, FRCP. I'm a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians. My expertise is twofold. On a pan-geographic scale, I'm an ESCO chair in transnational challenges and governance. In the scientific field, I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Washington.
We've got Kyle and Pablo. I just don't think we're going to get to you. Sorry, guys. We've only got a couple of minutes left of your time.
My contention in the book is that they are coming.
Yeah, sorry?
They are coming.
Well, that's how they're making the
All
babies.
over. Yes, right. It's a funny joke, but they're coming down, and they're going to get you and stick it in with all their willies, alien ones, their head. So be careful. I'm going to send you this picture now.
If you send me the drawing,
I'm going to do that right now. That's nice.
I will. If you send me the evidence,
sweater.
yeah?
Yes, I'm going to send it now.
I will
shade in her face.
Okay, we're still on air.
Okay.
I will tweet that to my followers, and maybe it will generate a conversation for the next hour or so. Professor, lovely to speak to you.
Okay.
And
keep safe, everybody. Keep your wits about you. Don't get bumped.
Professor, you okay?
Yes. I'm just drawing the spaceship here. Color that in.
What was that noise? You sound like you.
I'm coloring this in the spaceship. Just coloring that in.
Okay, Professor. Well, I'm gonna let you get on with that, and
okay.
I'm gonna crack on with the show.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
night.
so much. Thank you, Professor Joseph Laevens. You can say what you want, but you've got to admit there's something in it. There's something in it. These women are convinced. The professor has evidence that he's gonna send me, and I'll tweet it. There's something in it, isn't there? 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Talk Radio.
Okay, we'll take your calls now. We can talk about Stephen Stills. We can talk about aliens with phalluses on their heads. We can talk about anything you want. 0344 499 1000. Iain Lee, Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
If you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, concentration slip away because your baby is so far away. Well, there's a rose in this dead love, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry, don't be sad, but don't sit crying over good times you had. There's a girl right next to you, and she's just waiting for something to do. And there's a rose in the twisted love, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
try to avoid playing that song, but it's just so joyous, even if the message is a little bit dirty. The message kind of ties in with what we were talking about with the Professor. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. It's a weird song, isn't it? It's a weird song. It's like the opposite of a love song. No, it's not. The opposite of a love song would be a hate song. It's like a love song plus. That's what it is. It's a love song plus. Oh, I tell you what. By the way, I've just tweeted at Iain Lee, and we'll tweet it as well from the Talk Radio account, if that's okay. The evidence from Professor Joe Laevens is a fascinating diagram of based on the accounts of some of the women who have had hybrid children, how they've described their alien lovers. I'm a little bit windy pops tonight, and I'm a little bit... It subsided somewhat. But my tongue... Here's a phrase. My tongue is very sweaty. Do you know what I mean? Does anyone else know what I mean? My tongue is very, very sweaty. The only thing I can compare it to is many, many years ago, I ate some mushrooms and they made me nauseous, and it made my tongue feel all like fat and hairy and sweaty. It's a horrible description, but it's true. And earlier on, I felt like I was going to be sick. Didn't feel particularly ill, but I thought I was going to vomit. 0344 499 1000. Jonathan, I'll come to you in a second. And that subsided a bit. It's still there ever so slightly. And the only thing I can put it down to is I was eating a packet of nuts. Now, I'm a big fan of the pistachio nut. I'm a big fan of the... what's the other nut I like? Pistachio. Cashew, that's it. The black shoe, you're welcome. Cashew. Big fan of those. And I normally just eat the pistachios, although they're a lot of hard work. When I'm rich, I'm going to employ someone who will pop like 15 pistachios at a time and then hand them to me, a handful of pistachios. Otherwise, one at a time. 15. But I was eating some Christmas nuts. I don't know what that means. Catherine bought some Christmas nuts. And as I was eating it, my tongue started sweating and I started feeling nauseous. And I had to stop after half a packet. And I think that if I'd eaten more, I would have vomited. Now, here's the thing, right? I'm not allergic to nuts, or at least I wasn't allergic to nuts. Can you develop an allergy? Genuine question, right? Can you develop an allergy over halfway through your life? At the age of 43, I'm over halfway through my life. I've probably got another 25 years, if I'm lucky. If I'm unlucky, can you develop an allergy later on in life? Now, I don't know what nuts it was in that bag. And if we were under laboratory conditions, I would go and eat several... I would divide the nuts up and... I would eat several of one, nothing, eat several of nothing, and find out what the nut was. I can't be bothered. So I'll just avoid mixed nuts from now on, and I'll just eat the cashew and the pistachio, and that'll be it. Maybe the Brazil, but the Brazil nuts are the most wooden of all nuts. They're the ones that make me think I'm eating seed. 0344 499 1000. Genuine question, right? And you know me, I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. But can you become allergic to something later on in life? 0344 499 1000. One thing I'll never become allergic to is the insane racist we call Jonathan. Good evening, Jonathan.
Stop dead-naming me, you white supremacist capitalist patriarch. My name is Lindsay Janeway.
What have you got for us this evening, Lindsay?
I'm very concerned about the racist, sexist and bigoted remarks you made about women, people in the developing world and people with mental health issues.
I don't think I've mentioned women in the developing world or people with mental health issues today.
You said You said that your oppressed female producer was mad, and that you culturally appropriated hair from innocent poor people in the third world to make a beard for a white capitalist male patriarch in the 70s.
Right, hang on a second, right? You're referring to Tony Robinson, who was on the show yesterday. He referred to Kath as Mad Kath, and it was a wig for John Wayne. It wasn't a beard, and it was an important piece of hair that people, even if they'd known where it was going, would gladly have sacrificed their hair for.
How do you know that? Why didn't you censure him for his bigoted remarks?
You're right. I should have no-platformed him, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I'm learning.
We can't have white supremacists on the radio.
No, I'm learning, love. I'm sorry.
Yes. And I'm also worried that you've got a transphobe on the show tomorrow.
Peter Tatchell.
Yes, he supports a transphobic woman who said that.
No, he doesn't. He supports freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech is hate speech. We should ban freedom of speech. It's hate speech.
Okay.
People have died because of freedom of speech. I can't even. I'm hyperventilating. I'm so offended that I'm going to call Ofcom and the police to have you shut down.
Thanks for calling, Lindsay.
Thank you.
I've got literally. I mean, it's the most insane. New meds or off the meds, you decide. I've got no response to that. I don't know how much I should play along, how much I should back. I don't know. By the way, if you missed the first hour of last night's show, you absolute corker. Tony Robinson was in for an hour. Hilarious, filthy. I think genuinely a little bit annoyed that I hadn't referred to him as Sir Tony, so that you could say, you can just call me Tony. I did was thinking about that today. I thought, maybe he was genuinely annoyed about it. It's out as a podcast, and it really is. It's one of my favourite bits of radio. Certainly that I've done here and that I've done anywhere. Just an hour of pure joy talking to the white supremacist Tony Robinson. It's a joy. It's out as a podcast. You can get it on iTunes, of course. And if you do get it from iTunes, I noticed that only about 350 of you have left, reviews. And those 350, that's great, thanks. Why haven't the rest of you? It gets about 10,000 downloads a day. So why the hell haven't the rest of you given it 5 stars and a review? You can also get it on Pocket Cast and all kinds of other places as well. And it was an absolute joy. And we do 1 or 2 podcasts a day. We do a best of, which is like an hour and a half, of the best bits. And if there's an interview, we'll put the interview out as well. And I'm sure that Professor Joe Laevens will get a podcast as well. And they go out. The way it works is we do the show. It's fun. We go home. Kath comes in the next day, and the previous day's podcasts go up, but they're up by 8 o'clock, generally earlier. But they're up by 8 o'clock, unless there's a problem. Sometimes there's a problem with the computer. But so if you check your usual source, but 8 o'clock in the evening, you'll get the previous day pods. Is that okay, guys? We okay with that? Groovy. Alan, Dana, Angela, stay there. Oh, yeah, Peter Tatchell's on the show tomorrow. Is he coming in or is he on the phone? He's on the phone. Brilliant. Looking forward to that. Just not to talk about anything in particular, just to have a chat. The Peter Tatchell is an absolute legend. Watch the video of him getting beaten up. Was it Mugabe's security team? The video of him trying to put a citizen's arrest on Mugabe. It is just incredible. Incredible. And he got really badly beaten up, got a really nasty knock on his head from the security guards. Incredible footage. The man is a legend. And we'll just get him on and have a chat and see what we talk about. And celebrate the fact that people like Peter Tatchell exist. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Alan, Dana, Angela, come to you after this. Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Don't forget, it's a phone-in show unlike any other phone-in show. You can call in about whatever you want. You know, we've talked about Stephen Stills and aliens with phalluses on their head and nuts, but you can call in literally about anything, any of the stuff I'm talking about. If it grabs your fancy, you're more than welcome to. Or if there's stuff that you think we should be talking about, sensible or otherwise. We kind of, there was a thing online last week about, the show's too miserable, and the show kind of reflects where I am. So if the show gets miserable, then, hey, that means I'm miserable. And I'm trying to get more of a balance in between the miserable and the stupid, right? And we're not going to stop doing the stupid. But the miserable stuff is kind of cool as well. So I'm trying to get more of a balance. But it sometimes might be a little bit, miserable. And sometimes it might be a little bit too stupid. And that's kind of fine. That's kind of fine, I think. So what I'm saying is you can call in about anything you want. And if don't feel that you can't call in about the miserable stuff, as I'm now ham-fistedly calling it, you're more than welcome to. Final thing, and then we'll take some calls. If you want to watch the show, we're on Facebook tonight, facebook.com/Iain Lee. Hello, I'm watching you. You're watching me. Watching us. Let's go to Caddick.
Hip, 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 sir.
Hip, 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 Caddick.
You ready for performance ring on Sunday?
Yes, I am. All of the acts have been in touch. We got some brilliant acts. Now, here's the thing, right? The show, the performance ring on Sunday, sold out, guys, is made up entirely of listeners to the show, right?
Yeah.
And amongst those listeners, we have someone... Now, is the custard in this one? I can't remember. I think we got someone eating custard, or is that in February? I can't remember. Anyway, someone eating... I haven't got my book with me. Someone eating custard, someone playing the saw, someone singing some songs, someone playing a video game. And
that's a bit unusual.
Yeah, it's a little bit unusual. We've also got... There's a brilliant group, singer, performer, songwriter called Thomas Walsh, who is in the group, or is the group... Pugwash, right?
Yeah.
Pugwash are brilliant. I mean, properly brilliant. It's nice to be nice, as my mother would say. It's good to be good, and it's... Anyway, he's going to be joining us via Skype to play 2 or 3 songs, and he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He was also half of the Duckworth-Lewis method, which was... Thomas Walsh and Neil Hannon from the Divine Comedy. Thomas is a listener to the show, and when he heard about Performance Ring, he went, "Oh, is there any way we could do it with me being in Ireland?" I went, "Yes, there is, Thomas." So he's going to be performing a couple of songs, and he's like proper. And Alan, I believe you're going to be performing via Skype as well.
Yep, I am.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
I'm waiting for you to send me a contact request on Skype.
I will. I will do that. I'll probably do that on Sunday because I've got you've sent me your Skype details.
My Skype address.
Yeah, and so I'll probably do that on Sunday, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I just don't know, Alan. I'm a wild card.
A bit like a wild card on the X Factor.
A little bit like. I don't know what that means. Is I've not seen the X Factor.
Because it's the final this weekend, anyway.
Oh, thank God for that.
And then next week it's the final Australia, when all reality TV is done for the year.
Then the week after that it's the final of Life.
Yeah, Christmas.
Christmas. Looking forward to Christmas, Alan?
Yeah, my brother's coming down from Blackpool.
Your bummers, you what?
My brother's coming down from Blackpool.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'll be good.
And Kath spoke to me mum earlier.
Oh! Has Kath been invited for Christmas dinner?
Well, I don't know. She spoke to me mum briefly while I was upstairs looking after me dad.
Oh, and what's wrong with your dad? Is your dad all right?
Got a frozen shoulder.
Aye.
And a pain in the back.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah.
You're having bad luck health-wise, your family, the Caddicks.
It's not been a good year for us.
Not been a good year. Well, this one's nearly over, Alan, and so maybe 2017 will be a bit better for you and for everyone else.
Well, who knows? I'm just waiting for the first curse to strike of a new year.
Oh, flipping it! Look at you. You're in a good mood, aren't you?
Well, being never the optimist, never the pessimist.
Well, I've just realised tonight. I forgot to say this, by the way. Tonight is the last night. Is this the bit of paper? Yeah, here it is. Tonight is the last night. Oh, two things I meant to say. God. Tonight is the last night that we're giving away dead rock stars and dead movie stars. Have you got some, Alan?
Richard Pryor.
Oh, here we go. Caddick, right. Richard Pryor, yep.
For the rock star, I would say Elvis.
No, Elvis hasn't gone, which I'm surprised by. It's a strong hand, mate. Strong hand. So tonight's the last night. 1 o'clock, that closes, and whatever is on this list, that's it, right? And also, we're doing the New Year's Eve show, Alan.
Yeah.
9 o'clock on New Year's Eve, Saturday night, through to 1 o'clock. There's a chair missing, but there's normally, hang on, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 other mics in the studio. We can get 2 people around a mic like George and Paul. So I'm going to invite 4 listeners to come and join us in the studio for the New Year's Eve show. Here's the caveat, right? Make your own way in, make your own way out. Once the show's finished, I don't want to talk to you. That's it. It's done and dusted. Off you go. Bye.
Did you try and do that before, but health and safety got involved?
Well, that was because we were going to have a big audience, right? And we will do that in the new year. That's going to happen in the new year, okay? We've worked it out, so that's going to happen. But for this, it's just 4 people. Actually, let's start with 4, but let's bear in mind we've got a sofa in here, okay? Let's bear in mind, so there could be a bit of snogging going on. So if anybody wants to put themselves forward tonight as the first listener to win a lucky golden ticket, Willy Wonka style, 03444991000.
And will we be able to call in New Year's Eve as normal?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, so be calling twice. 1 in 2016 and 1 in 2017.
It'll be the same old rubbish, but an hour longer and on a Saturday. And they can put that on the post if they want. That's how we're going to sell it. The same old rubbish, an hour longer and on a Saturday. But there is space here for 4 lucky listeners. And at the end of it, one of them might even win Talk Radio. Who knows? In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll give away Talk Radio.
Subject to Murdoch's approval.
Yeah, well, I'm going to the Murdoch Christmas party tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, get your checkbook ready.
Thank you very much indeed, Alan. He'll give me Talk Radio for free. So, yeah, we'll do that. If you want to be one of the 4 lucky listeners here on New Year's Eve. And I hate New Year's Eve, right? That's partly why I'm doing the New Year's Eve show, to give people like me an alternative thing to listen to, because I hate New Year's Eve. And loads of you have given suggestions of loads of you have said don't mention New Year's Eve, and I'm really tempted to not mention it at all, but I suspect I might get told off by my boss if we don't even mention it. But we'll try and do a kind of normalish show. I don't know, really. We'll just sit here and talk for 4 hours and see what happens. But I don't like New Year's Eve. I don't know how to do New Year's Eve. So it'll be something for people that don't want to listen to, I don't know, whatever else is on. What's on? Jules Holland is on the telly, isn't it? Jules' Hogmanay mashup. Big Ben, fireworks. Yeah. Hang on a minute, will we be able to get here? Don't they close London on New Year's Eve for the fireworks, which aren't that far from here? Oh, bum. Well, anyway, we'll work it out. That's my responsibility, not yours. Although if you're coming, it's your responsibility to work it out. Oh, we're going to give away one golden ticket tonight. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. So, last night of Dead Rock Star, Dead Movie Star giveaway, and the first night of a golden ticket giveaway for you to come and sit in the studio during the New Year's Eve show on Saturday, the 31st of December, 2016, as we see in the new year. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you're going to give us a call. Remind me to talk about the film Whiplash, which I watched earlier today, and I didn't understand it. I did not understand the movie Whiplash. Angela!
Hi, Ian. How are you?
Got any ashes?
No.
I'm all right, Angela. What have you got for us? Oh?
Do you know when you go out at night time from the station?
Yes.
Do you ever see anything? A spaceship?
Do you mean spaceships, or do you mean like what?
Like, did you ever actually see anything in the skies?
I saw well, no, I didn't see the supermoon because it was too cloudy. No.
Oh.
My
wonder. Because it's always dark at night, isn't it?
It is always dark at night, Angela. Yes, you have got that. You have got that spot on. It is always dark at night. Yes.
And I was wondering if you can put the picture of it on Facebook so I can show my partner.
Of what? Sorry.
Do you know the drawing of the picture?
Oh, yeah, from Joe Laevens. Shall I put it on my Facebook page now?
Yeah, and I can show my partner, then he's going to get it all week then, isn't he? He's already had alien talk all week.
He's going to get it all week?
Yeah, I told him about the aliens coming for us.
Does this turn you on then?
No, I'll just keep tormenting him about the aliens coming.
Are you suggesting that he's... You're hinting that you might go off and have sex with an alien who's got a dick on his head? Is that what's happening?
I've been telling him all sorts of different aliens to him, and then he just ignores me.
Do you know what?
He said I need a lot of help.
I think, I need a lot of help to understand what the hell is going on in this conversation. Regarding aliens. Hang on a minute. And I'm just putting it on my Facebook page now. So, do you find the thought of aliens sexy then?
No.
No. What? So your sexual inclinations are more earthbound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
We don't know what happens at night now, do we?
No, you don't. But if an alien knocked on your door, your front door, would you invite them in?
No, because it would run away from me.
Oh, are you ugly?
No, it would just definitely run away from me.
I think aliens, I think they get turned on by different things to humans. So, I'm sure they would find you very, very horny.
That's it. Getting the dog in here.
Yeah. You're getting the dog in?
See if he can protect me at night time.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't want to be ravaged by an alien. They do say it's the best sex ever.
Really? I'll have to look it up then.
Yeah. I think. Well, I've just put the picture on Facebook, so you can have a little look.
Thank you.
And see what you think about that, Angela.
All right.
You got it?
Yes.
You got it there?
I'll go show my partner.
You go and show your partner that, yeah? Okay, Angela. Thanks for calling.
Cheers. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Did anyone know what that phone call was about? I didn't have a clue. Was she cruising? I think she was cruising for aliens. I don't know. 0344 499 1000 is the old telephone number if you want to give us a call. So I watched Whiplash today. I'll tell you a minute. Let me take a couple of calls. I'll tell you a minute. Dana!
Hip, hip, hip.
What kind of cake?
Being lemon drizzle.
Lemon drizzle.
Can I just say, last night was a wonderful first hour. The show's always wonderful, but
Tony Robinson, wasn't he brilliant?
A total legend.
Can I just say? Can I interrupt? Sorry, because the trolls are active on Twitter, and I just want to stop this in its tracks. Okay. You say you shouldn't address the troll. I'm addressing them. I want to stop this in its tracks.
Yeah.
Nat Kimber, right? Trolling, right?
Troll.
I'll tell you what she's saying.
Yep.
She says BTW, which means by the way. Right?
Yep.
I won't be able to play dead actors, dead rock star poker, so my hand, Brandon Lee and Kurt Cobain, is up for grabs.
Oh.
That's like having kids, right? And then 6 years later going, I don't really fancy these kids. Does anyone want them? It doesn't work like that. You're stuck with the kids. You're stuck with Brandon Lee. You're stuck with Kurt Cobain. You chose a poxy hand, Nat Kimber. You're stuck with that poxy hand. You can't just toss off Kurt Cobain. You can't just toss off Brandon Lee. You've got them. You are stuck with them. No one is tossing off their dead rock stars or their dead actors. Okay? That is not part of the deal.
It's a bit like trying to get swapsies, isn't it?
It is like trying to get swapsies. And I'm sorry, Nat Kimber. I am sorry. You are stuck with Messrs. Lee and Cobain, okay? That's your problem. That's your problem. That's your problem. Dana, what did you call in for?
Well, I just wanted to find out, who do I address the cheque to you for the public broadcasting that you've done today? Because obviously, like with the BBC, we have to pay a licence fee.
Yes.
And, after all that incredible information that you've given us, I'm just wondering, who do I make the cheque payable to?
Just go and use a PPI company. just go and use, any of the fine companies that are advertising on this station. Go and use them and say, oh, by the way, I heard about you on the Iain Lee show on Talk Radio. They'll say, what? So I heard about you on the... what you said. Who's Iain Lee? What is Talk Radio? Because you'll probably just be speaking to someone on the phone or in the shop and they won't know the advertising outlets. But you need to get in touch with the CEO of all of these fine companies that put food into my children's mouths.
But if I was to mention the reference alien with penises on their head, then I'm sure they'll understand.
Yeah.
I would have thought so. But what I was thinking is, I just feel so lucky because obviously this information that you've given the world is so important, and I just feel lucky for once that I'm a trans woman, so I feel relatively safe. I'm not going to get impregnated.
No, Dana. And it's funny, I, in the notes that Professor Joe Laevens sent over, I think you probably still could get impregnated, even being a trans woman, because they've got such powerful seed. I'd need to double check, but I think actually you probably could.
There's still a risk, you think, of some sort of contamination.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's more like, I think the babies grow more like the bacteria in a Petri dish. As opposed to in the womb. So I think, and I'd need to double check. I'll email Joe tomorrow. But I think you probably could. So
so maybe I'm not totally safe, because there was me sitting there being very smug.
The best sex ever.
I was literally sitting here being very smug, thinking for once I've got the upper hand because I'm trans.
That trans smugness is out the window on this one, Dana.
Maybe Peter Tatchell might know more tomorrow.
Maybe Peter Tatchell might know more tomorrow. Well, I don't know if we'll get time to talk about aliens with penises on their head to Peter Tatchell tomorrow.
Right, but discussion piece if things dry up a little bit.
Yeah, I will definitely... I'll put it in my notes, and if we get time, I promise I will bring it up.
Oh, and will you be mentioning that thing as well? Are you going to be sort of pumping off and...
Will I be mentioning what?
Are you going to be pumping off? Are you mentioning how you've been recently been pumping?
You mean at the gym, of course, Dana. I see what you've done there. You made a crude joke, and I'm not. This is a very serious show. I'm sorry. Cut off. cut off. Maybe she may be trans, okay, but I'm afraid that if everybody wants to be equal, then everybody's equal, Dana, and you've been cut off for making filthy, lewd jokes. The show is better than that. The show is better than that. We will tackle issues that everybody else is afraid to tackle. We will tackle them, including, do we have the right to cut off trans people when they make bad jokes? I say yes. I say yes. Maybe I'm the new Hopkins. Who knows? Maybe I'm the new Hartley Burr. Who knows? Who knows? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Jules, Kyle, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Give it up, Kyle.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, boss. What have you got for us this evening?
Well, I've just been analysing that picture you've kindly retweeted from the Professor. He was an excellent guest, by the way.
Thank you.
Very informative. But a couple of discrepancies I've noticed, and a question I wanted to ask you.
Yes, boss.
Okay. So I'm looking at this, and it appears to have the alien seems to have 5 penises, but no testes, unless you count that thing at the bottom of its, well, I presume, legs.
I think those are his feet. It's hard to draw feet. Have you seen that picture of Theresa May stood on 10 Downing Street and with some tiny woman, and it looks like her feet are on back to front? Have you seen that?
I've not seen that.
Oh, if I'm guessing. Hang on a second. If I were to Google Theresa May backwards feet, I bet the picture comes up. Hang on a second. Theresa May backwards feet images. No. Oh, well, my mate Glenn sent it to me. So do I have to retweet that as well? I'm afraid I cannot help with your that's your homework, Kyle, is to find Theresa May with backwards looking feet. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Good lad. Good.
No worries.
No. Okay.
No worries. The other thing I was going to mention, well, a couple of things I was going to ask you about is because a lot of this focus has been about sort of human women and male aliens or whatever sex they are.
Yeah.
You know, what happens if it works the other way around? I mean, you know, I was going to ask him, the Professor, if I got a chance, you know, have I got a chance with one of them like alien green women from Star Trek? Would I have a go on one of them? And if so, what would I cook for them?
Have a go on one of them. Come on, mate. These are super intelligent beings from other galaxies. You're not going to have a go on them. It's not like the ride, the little Postman Pat ride outside W.H. Smith's, is it? You put a quid in. There's a quid for those now. Flipping it. You only get about 2 minutes. You put a quid in and you get. It's not that, mate. It's an actual life. It's a life. It's a life. It's a life.
Yeah, but they might not have taste buds. So do I offer them like a steak dinner, or will they be happy with like a Dairy Lee sandwich?
Mate,
do you see what I mean?
Mate, I don't know, because I'm not an expert on this. I'm just a traveller on life's road, asking questions and you know, trying to make my own path.
You're like a vessel, effectively, aren't you?
I'm like the pestle in the vessel.
Oh. The other thing I was going to ask you about, that's all right. I heard your thing about the...
You could always just pay for a prostitute, Kyle.
I don't want to... I'm not made of money. I'm from Rochdale.
Right, so you want a freebie off an alien bird?
Well, basically, yeah.
Unbelievable, mate. I think... Do you know what? I think they're looking for the super intelligent and the super attractive humans. So I'm afraid that's a strike for you on both. Whereas I'm double bubble there.
Well, they'd love you.
That's why I leave my window unlocked every night.
Because you're funny and you're tall, aren't you?
Yeah.
So they'd probably love that. Yeah. Because they're probably quite short, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Do you
believe the hybrid children? Do you believe what the professor was talking about, the hybrid children? Because the more I look into it, I've done a lot of research over the past week or so, the more I think that there is quite possibly, I won't say probably, but there is quite possibly something in it.
Well, it's funny because when I heard it on Howard a few weeks ago, I thought it was absolute tripe and bullshine.
Yeah.
But you and the Professor have kind of convinced me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. It's really weird.
All right, Carl, what else did you want to know?
The other thing, and it's probably a really daft idea, but so the 4 possible tickets for the live version of, Dead Celebrity Poker.
Hello, Jules.
Hello.
Hello, Jules. I'll come to you in a second. I'm just finishing Kyle off. Oh, you mucky sort.
Yeah, no, I was going to say about that picture of Theresa May. Apparently, what she was wearing was meant to be worth about £1,700.
Again? No, not the one where she's got the leather trousers on.
Oh, you already done that one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we did that. Her trousers cost £9. No, don't apologise, Jules. Her trousers in that picture cost £950.
Yeah, that's the one you were saying about. Sorry, yeah.
No, there's a picture of her, and I've got it. I just can't bother to tweet it. There's a picture of her stood on the doorstep of 10 Downing Street.
No, I don't think it was that one they were even talking about. It was something else.
That's what I'm talking about. She stood on 10 Downing Street with a short woman. Someone called Dan Kiss _ on Twitter tweeted it. So look, Theresa May's feet look the wrong way round.
Right.
Dan, I've got to do everything for you lot. I'm a little bit busy here. I've got to look at everything for you, guy. Unbelievable. The attitude of some of you people. It just seems you don't give a stuff, So here we go. Right, I've just retweeted it now. Right, have that. Looks like her feet are on back to front. All right, have that.
Right.
Right.
Sorry, carry on. Sorry,
thank you, Jules. You did, Kyle.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. No, I think you do look back to front. By the way, they do.
Yeah.
I liked it. She looks like Verity Treacle. Do you remember that from Kenny Everett?
No.
Oh.
We weren't really allowed to watch Kenny Everett because it was a bit rude. I only got to watch bits of it if I went round to my cousins in London. So I never used to watch Kenny Everett because it was a bit filthy for us.
Oh, you'd like that. But no, my idea was, it's probably a daft idea, and you're probably going to instantly cut me off, but why don't you, for that last ticket...
Hang on a minute, Kath has said, I bet she let you watch Bottom. But Bottom, I was about 25 when Bottom was on.
Bottom was a nut.
Yeah, I didn't used to like Bottom.
Oh, seriously, Gas is just the best programme
But I was
ever.
like in my 20s when that was on. I could choose whatever I wanted.
So was I.
Do you remember that band episode?
No.
Which one?
There was a band episode. Well, it wasn't shown for ages.
No, it wasn't.
On Wimbledon Common.
Which one?
They set it on Wimbledon Common, and then bad news overtook things.
It was not banned at all.
What?
The only banned one was from Far Show. Far Show, they'd done the Australian when it was an earthquake. That's the only thing that was being banned. There was nothing from Bottom banned.
Hang on a minute, Jules. This is getting very, very heated. Kyle, you're saying there was a banned episode of Bottom, a series I've never watched. Well, hang on, Jules. Let Kyle speak.
It was pulled and not shown for a little while after.
How long is a little while?
I've got a feeling it was a year, but I could be wrong on that.
Why was it banned?
No.
Jules, let him speak. You can come back in a second. Kyle, why was it banned?
Because part of it was set on Wimbledon Common, and there was quite a horrific crime that took place in Wimbledon Common.
Oh, was it the murder of Rachel Nickel?
Yes.
Oh, was it? Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the BBC wouldn't show it.
Okay, isn't that interesting? Okay.
No, that was never banned. That was always shown.
So, hang on, Jules. You're saying that episode... Well, because sometimes they do show episodes at a later date.
Yep. No, that was definitely shown.
And that was shown in its original slot, was it?
Yep.
And it wasn't... I think we're getting... If Keith's phoning about this, let me know, because we'll put him on. So what makes you think it was banned, Kyle?
I've just got a feeling that when you watch the original run, I'm sure they sort of said, in a change to the published schedule, blah, 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 this is, and I'm sure it was an older episode they showed to fill out the 6 episodes sort of thing.
And Jules, you're adamant that...
I may be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Hang on a minute. It's gone from no to, well, I may be wrong.
All right, no, I think I'm right. I don't think it was not delayed at all.
My money is now switched from Jules. Kyle. It's on Kyle. Let's bring... it's the Keith's not about... Hang on. Keith, you haven't called in about this.
Actually, I will say now, no, it was not delayed.
Keith, you've not called in about this.
Sorry, about what? I've kind of joined the conversation late. It sounds... even too puerile for me.
Oh,
puerile.
Ooh.
Someone want to tell him what we're talking about?
I'm going to Google it.
No.
Well, we're talking about that bottom episode and whether it was broadcast as originally scheduled or whether it was delayed because of a tragedy. But now, the other bloke, sorry, and I didn't get your name, I'm really sorry, the other man, Iain, who rang in,
yes,
discussing the bottom, say, what's his name?
Jules.
I'm siding with Jules now, only because that bloke says we're puerile.
Right, well, okay. So, Keith, are you a fan...
Shall I call back?
No. You're involved now, I'm afraid. There's no backing out. If anyone knows what we're talking about, 0344 499 1000. Keith, were you a fan of Bottom, the Rick Mail, Adrian Edmondson series?
Do you know what? I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was all right.
I've never seen it, right?
Liar.
I've seen a bit of it.
Oh, okay.
Class.
How much?
Literally probably about 10 minutes of one episode.
No.
Oh. Now, Keith, Kyle thinks that an episode of this was not shown during its original run because of an horrific murder that had taken place in real life. Do you know about this, Keith, or not? Hello, Keith.
No, I don't.
You don't know about that. Hang on a second. Dana?
Hello. Hip again.
Hip, welcome. We've done... So, please tell me you've called in about this.
I have. Yeah, it was. Kyle's right. I actually worked for the BBC at the time, and I was lucky enough to see every episode.
Yeah.
And that episode, Wimbledon Common, wasn't shown in its original slot. It was held back for quite a while. And I think it was Rachel Nicole.
Yeah. Jules, you've embarrassed yourself there a little bit, mate.
Have a bit, in all that,
And
really.
so have you, Keith, in all honesty.
Well, do you know what? It's a perfect opportunity. If you build it, it will come.
Qualifications, Dana?
I was there. I worked for the BBC.
Can't say fairer than that. You get a round of applause. Yeah, we go. Dana, thank you very much. Right. Touche. Keith, Jules, you've embarrassed yourself, mate. It's probably best.
I have totally.
If just in the middle, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, Jules. I'm going to talk to Keith and Kyle. It's probably, and I'm not going to say goodbye to you. It's probably best if some point during this conversation you just put the phone down.
Okay.
Is that all right? You just kind of, you sort of back away, you slink out, and you just put the phone down. Is that all right, Jules?
Of course.
All right, fella, in your own time. Keith, what did you call him for?
Number of things, really. Performance ring, Dead Rock Stars.
Jules has gone, by the way. What a loser.
Whiplash the movie.
What a loser Jules was. What was that about? That was embarrassing. God, it's a bit harsh, but I can see where you're coming from. Carl, you must have a stonker right now.
Well, do you know what? I don't take pleasure in victory. I really don't.
Really?
Better than that.
I hate you.
Oh, so I'm going.
I think you should probably just go.
Oh, do you want me to ring tomorrow and tell you my idea for your last remaining ticket?
Oh, no, go on. You can do that. Go on. Hang on a minute,
right.
Keith. Hang on a minute. It's all got a little bit out of hand here. With Kyle's ego has run amok. Amok's a good word, isn't it?
Amok is a great word.
Amok. Wonder what the origins of that word are. Chinese? Iraqi? Amok. Amok.
A-M-O-K.
Persian. What?
The Viking.
Amok.
Yeah, Viking. A-M-O-K. A-M-O-K. What is that? That's like kind of Norwegian. A-M-O-K. Chinese? A-M-O-K.
No. Amok.
Would you welcome live to the stage Amok?
Are you doing that voice with like your hands cupping your mouth?
Hey, it's Malaysian.
Oh,
Cupping.
Kyle, please get to the point of your call.
Well, no, right. It was just an idea for the last ticket for.
We can't even give away the first ticket. No one's called in for the first ticket.
People are going to call in for it.
Well, I don't think they will. It's who's going to want to come to some crappy studio on New Year's Eve?
I didn't want to throw my hat in the ring. I'm happy to do it. However, why don't you for the fourth ticket? You've got a number of callers now, like Dana and Alan and myself, and why don't you do a bush tucker trial for the last one? Where
All right.
people have got to eat loads of
Why
rubbish.
don't you go and eat a winkle?
I'll eat an alien's bumhole for a ticket.
Right, this is just getting ridiculous. Keith, please tell me what you've called in for, because I'm losing the will to live now.
Just general chit chat, really. You know, performance ring. It's very exciting.
Are you
this
coming?
weekend, isn't it?
Are you coming? Are you coming on Sunday to watch?
I haven't got a ticket, but thanks. Yeah, I'll come along.
There's no. I've given away a pair of tickets to Eben because he's going to be down from Wales with his dad. And you're coming, are you, Ed? Oh, flipping it. So there's not any, I'm afraid. But you're performing on the February.
I was going to perform at this one.
Yeah. Well, I know. There was some controversy.
I had like big names and everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you had the bass player from Madness.
Yeah, but I think I can get Lee Thompson as well, who's a sax player.
Okay, but the thing is, we can't. This is what I'm trying to stress to you, Keith. We can't make too much
noise. I know it's noise. I know.
Well, we can't. But we can't.
Do you know what? My act is going to be a little bit noisy.
I know what your act is, and your act sounds brilliant. But we can't make that much noise. That's the problem. And we can't because of the licensing laws and stuff like that with that place. So we can't.
We're going to have to do it unmiked. It's going to have to be an acoustic, cooking music type sort of set.
Yeah, but you've got to guarantee that we're not going to have too much noise. Because I want to see it. The act sounds brilliant. This isn't me going, the act sounds brilliant, but I'm terrified it's going to be too noisy.
I mean, I think it might be a little bit noisy.
This is the thing, man. And by the way, the performance ring on February the 26th, I think it is. There's a handful of tickets left. It's the last performance ring.
Whatever.
For a while. So the one on February, the last weekend of February, is the last performance ring for a while.
Why?
Because we got other plans. We got other plans. And I don't want to do it too often and dilute it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you got that Joker Benet closing for you at the next one, so the next one may well be the last one.
It might. Keith, have you got more stuff? Because you can come back after the news if you want.
Oh, yeah, hang on, why not?
Yeah, why the hell not? That's what we want to hear. Enthusiasm from our slacker callers. Want to take part, guys? You're more than welcome. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn, and nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Your life it will creep. starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. You better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
That's a song, isn't it? That's a song. Buffalo Springfield, Stephen Stills. We were talking earlier to David Roberts, who's written a brilliant book about Stephen Stills, which I'm halfway through. Oh, buzz gone. Last hour of the show, 0344 499 1000. Catherine, would you want to come and join me in the studio? You want to do that? Last hour of the show, as always, you can call in about absolutely anything you want. We pride ourselves on being the only, the only late-night show, the only phone-in show, I think, where anybody can call in about anything they want to at all. But some things that might tickle your fancy. Aliens, having sex with an alien, if the situation arose, would you? Even if their penis was on their head. It's the last day of giving away dead rock stars and dead movie stars. Once we get to 1 o'clock, that's it. It ain't happening no more. And we're giving away one golden ticket. One lucky person will get to come and join us in the studio on New Year's Eve. I say lucky. It'll be a sad case. Let me just, well, it will be, won't it? There we go. Look, you're on...
Hello. What, like us that doesn't like...
Yes, exactly.
New Year's Eve.
Like us that don't like... of course, people may not want to come and join us. You know, they may decide...
They'd rather be on their own, which is cool.
Or out having a good time. You know, you just
what,
don't...
With their actual friends.
With their actual friends. You can, if you're watching on facebook.com/Iain Lee, you can see Catherine, and she looks tired.
Well, it's after midnight.
Exactly.
It starts to turn into a pumpkin.
Keith!
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip. Plus, plus.
I just realised that that song you played, that was the tune that Finley Quay sampled.
It was, wasn't it? I think a couple of people have sampled it. What was Finley Quay's big song?
Even After All.
Go on, sing a bit.
Doom ba doo 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 bum doo 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 bum doo 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 bum.
I kind of meant some of the words.
Even after all,
rubbing my ribs.
The murdering. Even after all.
No, I've never heard of it.
He did the Sun is Shining.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did that one too.
I saw him. He said hello to me once.
You know I love you so.
Oh God, I hate that song.
You know I love you so and
okay.
so.
Okay, we've got the song now.
This is like when I trigger my grandma into a song. She'll do the repeat to fade.
He said hello to me once as he came out of a shop in Primrose Hill.
Really?
Really?
Because I was on the telly. He was in the charts. Happy Days. Oh, was it Eagle Eye Cherry?
I think I had a girlfriend once who was two-timing me with him.
With Eagle Eye Cherry?
No, Finley.
Finley Quay, really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I'd already bought the album, so I'll still listen.
Well, you should have asked her to get it signed. You might as well have done.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm pretty relaxed with that sort of thing. You know, so we can talk about sexy aliens if you want, because I definitely would. You wouldn't? Come on.
You would. I think you would.
But what if they look like Green Gilbert?
Yeah, you know.
Still have a go.
It's experiential, isn't it? It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
You would have to. I think you would, if the opportunity presented itself. You'd have to. And also, I think they use mind control techniques anyway, so you don't really have much choice. If they want you, they will take you.
I saw the V. I mean, some of those guys were quite sexy, weren't they?
Some of them were.
I mean, until they.
Even with the it still worked for me. Diana in V. Oh man, that came at a really important time in my life.
No, but a lot of the time they're going to brainwash you, or at least wipe your memory.
Yeah. You're not going to remember the event. I think it's different for men. They'll wipe the memory of the men, but the women have to give birth to the children. You can't wipe the mind of a woman that's given birth, can you? I don't think you
Well,
can.
people have more than one child. Explains it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. They've forgotten that they had a first child, yeah.
I think, do you know what? Either way, I just think, if you're in that situation, like in any situation where...
Here's the thing, right? Here's the question, Keith.
Is it cheating if it's outside your species?
Here's the thing.
If you're forced to do it.
Well, that means... Anyway,
Maybe that's where the mind control
here's
myth
the question,
comes
right?
from.
Here's the question. I've often thought about this quite a lot, right? If like an alien spaceship came down to Earth, like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right?
You've thought about this quite a lot.
Yeah, I have actually.
God.
Or Flight of the Navigator. So the alien spaceship comes down, right? And they come out, and you're all stood around the spaceship, but it's like you and your family, and let's do it with you first, Kath. So it comes in your back garden, and you and your family, your kids, and your parents, they're all stood
Wouldn't
there.
fit in mine. There's a slide.
It doesn't matter. They can expand
Squish it.
space and time and stuff. It's fine. And they say to you, right, Kath, we'd like to take you for a trip on our spaceship. Would you go?
Of course I would.
Right. But they
Could
say,
a phone work
no,
first?
No. This is serious. If you're going to take the piss, then I'm not going to ask you. This is a serious question, right? Genuinely, I've thought about this a lot, right?
Go on.
They say, so you want to go for a run? They say, but, you can never come back to Earth again.
It's not a ride then, is it? That's an abduction.
Right, you're not... Would you do it, Keith?
Yeah,
And Keith, have you got
absolutely.
family, like kids and stuff?
Yeah, but I'm so sick of them, man. Come on. It's like, honestly, sign me up.
You know what's going to happen, though. You'll end up on a slab or in a museum or
No,
something.
no,
or in a zoo.
they will take you on a journey to their planet, which is like 1 billion light years away, but you will never be able to come back to Earth. You never see your kids, Keith. You never see your wife, your mum, your house. You never see any of those people.
Your Finley Quay DVD.
Your Finley Quay. You never see you never see any of them ever again. You would go, would you, Keith?
Ian, it tastes like food all day long, man.
Wow.
Seriously.
He's totally
Yeah,
going.
all day long.
All right, Catherine, I'll ask you the question again, but this time, can you answer it properly?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't go?
Mhm.
You wouldn't go and see the wonders of the galaxy?
No.
What?
That's a very selfish
What
attitude.
message? Well, hang on a minute. You got 2 daughters, yeah?
Yeah.
What example are you setting your daughters?
I'm saying I love them more. Surely
pathetic.
that's
that's the
pathetic.
wrong. That's
also,
the wrong
you're
example.
going to end up being like some alien's plaything.
You're
up there.
obsessed with sex. They are.
I wasn't thinking
They're on a
sex, I was
different
thinking,
plane.
like, they'll probably put me in a, I'm a prime specimen.
Right.
I'll be in a zoo.
What you're saying to your daughters is, when an opportunity comes, don't grab it. In fact, turn it down.
I am actually
Turn
saying,
it down.
here's what I'm saying. Say no to strangers.
As my mate Scott would say, she's murdered you there, mate.
Oh, God,
I would think long and hard about it, but I would go. I would go, and
Yeah.
I'd be heartbroken.
You've got to go. You've
got to go.
So selfless of you.
No, because I'd be setting an example to my boys.
Of stranger comes along, gives you better offers. Screw you
they're
guys.
they're not paedophiles, the aliens.
I'm not saying they are, but you don't know.
Although we didn't think football coaches were, but look what's unravelling in front of our very eyes.
No, but do you think it's different for boys than it is for girls?
Oh, so it's like hitchhiking.
In terms of the example that you set to them.
Yeah.
You say, okay, boys, you've got to be adventurers. Look at Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, terrible movie. So.
Oh no, I quite like that. I quite like that. It's where he goes in a black hole.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
Wouldn't it be
I
good?
like him. He's good, but no, bad movie.
Wouldn't it be good to set your children, male children, the example of being loyal?
Yeah, it's good to set them example.
Steadfast.
It's good to set them example of
Sensible.
being boring, of being mundane, of being afraid of change, of taking risks. It's kind of like when people go in the jungle or Big Brother, but forever.
Exactly.
They're away from their kids for like 6 weeks.
And you're not on TV either.
Yeah, exactly. So, and yet they do it. So you're knocking Larry Lamb, are you? What about George Lamb? George Lamb's not been able to go around and see his dad for 6 weeks.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, his dad's been handsomely paid and he'd know he'd be returned to his home.
Well, you don't know.
He's not going to be, hang
on a minute.
He's been
Hang on.
tormented in that, but the torment is over.
We need wisdom here. Dennis?
Good evening.
If...
We are on the biggest
On the planet, we are now in a spaceship, really. We're travelling through space all the time.
Yeah.
But look up at the sky on the night when there's no light pollution, and see what a magnificent place space is.
Yeah.
Now, to go where you want to go
would
take you years, so there's no point in coming back, because all your children would have grown up.
That's what you're not allowed back.
They'd have had great-grandchildren and
then you're not allowed back.
Well, even if you did.
Well, you can't.
Once you start leaving here, the time travel means that these people will grow old while you are on the way.
It's not time travel, that's the theory of relativity, but well done.
Yeah, but I'm saying going across the universe without time travel would mean that your children would be growing old while you're on the way.
Yeah, well, no, exactly.
So there's no point in coming back. You wouldn't
This is
see
what
them
I'm saying.
anyway.
So what I'm saying, Dennis...
Yes?
...is, would you go?
Yes, I would.
Boom! That's Dennis
First of
saying
all-
it. He's a 90s...
nearly dead.
No! Well, they've got
no,
life-sustaining
hang on a minute.
technology.
He might as well crack on. He's got nothing to lose.
Hang on a minute, I have got something to lose. I want that gold ticket because you already owe me 20 quid.
Sorry?
You bet me twice I wouldn't make a year.
Yeah.
And you didn't pay up, so it's time you gave me the gold ticket.
The line is breaking up, Dennis.
Oh, yes,
I
it
can't
was.
hear what you... we've lost that line there.
Don't waste a ticket. Don't waste a ticket.
Don't waste a ticket. The thing is, if I give it to him now, there's the odds are I'll have it back before New Year's Eve. What I'm saying is, I don't think he'll make it. I think that to not... Oh...
You're right.
Yeah, look, here we go. Michael's got it. Kath, you say you love your daughters more, but wait until they're teenagers. You might regret passing up the opportunity then. Thank you, Michael.
Exactly.
Very, very...
I've got a 13-year-old daughter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think you'd have to go. And then, where's Mummy? Oh,
She's been probed.
No, she's,
Something rotten.
She's a hero. She's an actual hero. She's gone to another galaxy.
I'll be an exhibit.
Where's Daddy? He's off, like, having intergalactic sex from all angles.
He's an intergalactic playboy. Having sex in 15 different dimensions at once.
And directions.
Exactly, Keith. Exactly. Thank you for that. You see?
Isn't it funny, the future we imagine for ourselves?
Yeah.
If we were to go for the aliens. I worry that I'm going to end up being probed. You worry that you won't.
I would worry about space AIDS. That would be a serious concern. But I think you'd have to go.
No.
You'd see things that no human
I couldn't tell
being
anyone.
has ever... Well, you'd experience
Couldn't
it
put it on Facebook.
I think they've got Wi-Fi in space.
Oh, really? But that puts a different
No,
complexion.
you can't. But I mean, it would be heartbreaking for me to say goodbye to my boys. I'd be upset.
You'd be over it by the time the in-flight meal came out.
What? Well, yes. Once you're on the thing flying away, whizzing away through space, it'll be amazing.
God.
No, I think you're an embarrassment to womankind with that attitude.
Well, that might be why they're so keen to get hold of me.
No, you never know. 0344 499 1000. What would you do, dear listener? This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Get rid of music, Ed, because I want to do an impression of a film that I saw today, right? Hang on, drop that. You're a worthless piece of crap. You're a piece of crap. Why? You're a piece of crap. The hands are bleeding. You're a worthless piece of crap. You're a piece of crap. You're fired from my... I'm gonna kick your ass. You're a piece of crap. Oh, my hands are bleeding. You're a piece of crap.
Karen Carpenter's story.
Whiplash.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
No.
Whiplash. I'm all out of breath after that. Everyone, it won like 1 million Oscars, literally 1 million Oscars.
Oh.
And everyone says, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Even Goldstein said it.
And he watches a lot of films. So what did you think?
Every film he's recommended to me has been Pony. So I watched it today. I have access to all movies. I'm a celebrity. And I didn't get it.
Oh. Embarrassing.
I didn't like it. I mean, I understood the story, but I didn't like it.
Was it that you didn't like any of the characters, so you didn't care about them?
Every character in that film is an arsehole.
Do you know what I found? That with Eyes Wide Shut, didn't care about them.
The only one who's not is Lucy, the girl he goes out with for a bit. But she's a bit drippy. It's got not Greg Evigan, the other dad from My Two Dads, not BJ, Paul. So Greg Evigan,
The little one with the brown curly mullet.
Yeah, it's grey curly mullet now.
No.
Paul, so it's Greg Evigan from My Two Dads. He's not in it.
It's the other one.
The other one, he's also in the Alien movies. Paul Frears. Paul
Reiser.
Yeah, we go. Paul Reiser is in it. He's an arse.
Oh.
It's got. I think it's the same actor that plays Dom from Don't Get Done, Get Dom. Think it's the same actor. I'm not sure. They look the same. He's an arse.
Mm.
The 19-year-old. Do you know what it's about?
I'm guessing drumming.
Yeah. It's about the drums. It's about learning to play the drums. Right. I know people who can play the drums, and they didn't go through any of that rubbish.
No, my first boyfriend was a drummer. He did a very odd face. It put me off quite a lot.
Yeah. The music that they played in Whiplash was awful. I mean, just awful.
What was it, rock? Hair rock?
No, it was like jazz, but it didn't sound like jazz. It sounded just like easy listening. It was awful, right?
Dear.
And the Don't Get Done, Get Dom guy, basically, he's an abuser. Not a sexual abuser, but mental abuser. And he's got this band. He teaches in this music school in New York, right? This music academy. Why they'd have a jazz band in a music academy, I don't know. And everyone is terrified of him. Terrified, because he's an abuser.
A bully.
Yeah. And I just didn't get it. And I'm watching it. And I was thinking, this is a really unpleasant movie about really unpleasant people. Well, I have no sympathy or empathy for any of the characters in this. They're playing crap. I mean, I watched it all.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, spoiler alert, the drummer boy, they're doing a competition, and he's so keen to be in this competition that he crashes his car, and his face is all ripped to shreds, and he goes into the concert covered in blood, and he messes up.
Oh.
And the guy says, "You're out of my band." So he then tries to kill him and gets kicked out of the school.
Right.
And then the guy gets the sack from the school because another boy kills himself. And the drummer boy gives evidence, but secretly, right? Then they bump into each other a year later. And the drum teacher, this is actual spoiler alerts now. Drum teacher says, I got the sack. Someone ratted on me. Anyway, listen, I'm got a jazz band. We're playing a festival tomorrow. It's the pieces that we rehearsed. Whiplash is the name of it. And another couple of pieces. The drummer's not up to it. What do you reckon, kid? Can you do it? Oh, yeah. Kid goes, you sure? He goes, yeah. You up for it? He goes, yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, and he invites the girl and Greg Evigan, and they all rock up at this big concert, right? And he sits down, he can't believe his luck, playing with some of the best musicians. And the teacher goes up to the front of the stage and goes, right, we're going to be playing Whiplash and the other songs this kid knows. But before we do that, here's a song he doesn't know. And he walks over to him and goes, I know it was you that grassed me up. And so this kid, but then this is the thing, right? This kid is like a brilliant drummer, right? So they're playing, and it's all like written drum notes and stuff, but he couldn't even, 0344 499 1000, he couldn't even just like busk away with the song, right? My mate Matt could. My mate Matt could. He could do it. He could just sit there and just go, right, what's the time?
Just keep up.
He could do all that. And so basically he humiliates the boy in front of 1,000 people and stuff like that, right?
Petty.
And then the boy walks off in tears, right? And Greg Evigan is there and he hugs him. And then the boy gets a determined look on his face and he takes his jacket off and he goes back out on the stage. I'm thinking, what are you doing, mate? You just want to... And he goes back on the stage and he just starts playing some wicked drums. And the don't get dumb is like, what the F? He might even say it.
What?
He says, what the F? What the F is going on here? What the F is this? Well, damn Al Pacino, what the F is going on? You're coming back on.
Hoo-ha!
And he's like, and the band are going, what? And then he says to the bass player, double bass, he says, I'll count you in. And goes, okay. Oh, so, hang on. So suddenly they know what song they're going to play, do they? Because this hasn't been rehearsed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the whole band join in and they play some, like, what they would consider to be wicked jazz. And
Dom's not playing.
Well, then Dom does, because he's conducting it. So then Dom does what any conductor worth their salt would do, just starts moving his hand.
Yeah.
And he's giving the kid the stares, right? Giving the kid the evil stares, because he's won. And then the song finishes.
Slow hand clap.
No. The song finishes, but the boy don't stop. And he carries on. He does a really self-indulgent drum solo for 7 minutes. And then Don't Get Dumb, Get Dom realises the boy is the genius he spent his entire career looking for. He's the genius. Yeah. And so he plays the song, and then they finish, and then it ends. And it finished, and I thought, you know when you can see an ending coming up, you think, you don't end now. This is not a conclusion.
Where's the rest of my film?
It's concluded without a conclusion.
Do you know what that film sounds like to me?
Yeah.
It sounds like Showgirls, but with drums instead of pasties.
I've not seen Showgirls.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of that going on as well.
Right.
And, like, she's running around with no clothes on, and then...
That sounds better than this, to be honest.
It's not.
Everyone was fully clothed.
It's not very good. And then, like, there's people being pushed down the stairs, and there's the older showgirl, and she acts like a mentor, and there's, like, this slightly lesbian overtones.
I'm going to be honest.
And then the one that...
The two films don't sound anything...
Ends up a right old cow.
Like...
And then she realises that she's turned her back on what used to be like a wholesome soul.
Yes.
And anyway, in the end, they all appreciate each other.
It doesn't sound anything like this at all. I tell you what this sounds like. Another film that won a load of Oscars and was tedious. The Birdman. Have you seen that with Michael Keaton?
No.
Have you seen it, Ed?
Yeah.
Rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all you need
What's
to
it
say.
about pigeon fancying?
No, it's... Is it all supposed to be done in, like, not one shot, but in, like, real time or something? It's supposed to be done in real time. I didn't realise that until I read about it afterwards. It's Michael Keaton having a breakdown as an actor. It's very pretentious, very up its own arse, and won a shed load of Oscars.
They do.
Ed's put his headphones on now. I feel bad.
Meanwhile, Showgirls gets nothing.
Ed, what do you want to contribute to this conversation?
No, just getting them on just in case I could contribute something else. But, I agree. It was a really, really great movie.
All right, mate. There's no need for that kind of language.
Wow. And what do you know? Academy Awards.
And by the way, right, I've got a story about... Where's the newspapers? I haven't got the papers.
Oh, dear.
Hang on.
Get the papers. Go to break, and then I'm going to destroy you, Ed, and your country.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Here we go, Ed. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it now.
Go for it. Try me.
New Zealand?
Yeah.
That's not a real country.
Yeah, it is.
They don't enjoy it, but most New Zealanders will admit they've been mistaken for an Australian.
What?
Yep, that's true. Thank you very much indeed. One Kiwi traveller, however, was stunned. One Kiwi traveller, however, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't read properly. One Kiwi traveller.
However.
No.
So you can take however out.
You've got to read the pause, though. One Kiwi traveller, however, was stunned. I would put in just the second comma, so the one after however. One Kiwi traveller, however, was stunned
You'd be wrong.
when border guards refused to believe that New Zealand was a real country. Chloe Phillips-Harris, do you know her?
No, I don't.
Do you know Chloe Phillips Harris?
Oh, that name sounds a little bit more familiar.
28, was detained in Kazakhstan for 2 days. Because immigration officers insisted that New Zealand was a state of Australia. It's not. It's a state of mind. When her flight... I like you turning up my microphone just to laugh at what I say. That bit I like.
I'm also trying to get rid of the buzz from our side.
When her flight touched down in Almaty...
Don't do the voice.
The start of an adventure exploring the mountainous country and working on farms... It sounds awful. Quickly turned into a nightmare. I got to an immigration booth. I'm from you. Fashion chops.
What is that accent?
Fashion chops. I got to an immigration booth and they told me I couldn't come in without an Australian passport, Miss Phillips Harris said. I'm from New Zealand, fashion chops. They said New Zealand was clearly a part of Australia.
Oh, now where are you from?
We are a multicultural society in New Zealand, That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. They've got a Chinatown in New Zealand. She was barred from entering the country and ushered onto a plane flying to China. But by making some telephone calls to well-placed contacts...
Oh.
Russ and Ed, I'll come to you in a minute.
She's connected.
She managed to get off that flight, only to be whisked away into a tiny interrogation room. It had an old map on the wall, but it didn't have New Zealand on it. How old would a map have to be for it not to have New Zealand on?
At least 175 years.
Wow!
200 years, maybe?
That's an old map! Making it even harder for her to argue her case. She was locked in the guarded room for the next day and a half. It had one small bed, and she was given no food or water, apart from a sip of a soft drink given to her by a friendly guard. Luckily for Miss Phillips Harris, her contacts...
Bet it was lilt.
Mysterious contacts, you see.
Contacts and managing to get off a plane as well.
In Kazakhstan, provided her with a new visa, and thanks to her dual nationality, an American passport. So they didn't even accept in the end that New Zealand was a real country. She had to be an American. After parting with some cash, she was free to leave. And there's a little... They've summed up your country in 6 lines. New Zealand was originally part of the British colony of New South Wales, became a separate part of the empire in 1841. Kazakhstan, meanwhile, was the last... they summed up your country in 3 lines.
And joined us with Kazakhstan.
Yeah. So...
Do you know what? I'm reading between the lines there.
Yeah.
They just wanted to give him some money for a bribe.
Yeah. I wonder what she was doing there, though. I mean...
She had contacts.
Contacts, bribes... Managing to sneak off that plane from China. She's... Spy.
My sister says, I've lived in New Zealand for over a year. I'm still not sure it's a real country.
Should I blow the whole thing over and just tell you that New Zealand is actually a Hollywood set and we've just made it look good?
Well,
there's only like 10 of us that actually
don't
from
look that
there.
good, mate. Don't big up too much. Yes, Ed?
Oh, yeah, all right. Ian, how's it going? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. There we go. That's it.
That was a South African accent, actually.
Well, the one you were just doing?
Trying to pull off. No, the one you were attempting earlier.
No, mate, it was New Zealand.
South African. It wasn't very good, but it's definitely South African.
No, mate.
Spit with you. No. I've got a bone to spit with you.
Well, hang on a minute. Ed. I've got a bone to spit with you, mate.
Go on, then.
That was a New Zealand accent I was doing.
No. South African. Bad South African.
Okay, well, let's go to Russ. Evening, Russ.
Hey, up.
Well, we'll go back to Ed in a minute and let's see if he's cooled his heels.
Yeah, well, I was going to start the call by saying, vampire, bloody vampire.
Why were you going to do that, Russ? Have you been taking LSD again?
I think it's something in the tea.
There we go, you see. A little bit of mushroom tea right
it
there.
It was a tribute to your good old days in... Titty Bang Bang.
Oh, see, now he believes I was in that programme, you see. Now he didn't believe it. He found it.
I found it. I went on YouTube and... thing is, it's not listed. If you search Iain Lee Titty Bang Bang, it won't find it.
Yeah,
so
no, I was doing it.
Search the episode.
Yes. There you go, you see.
Yeah. Good. I did like that at the time. That series.
It was all right. It was a bit hit and miss, but there were some funny gags in there. I don't think it was particularly, Britain's greatest sketch show, but there were some funny bits and pieces in it.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Russ?
I can't remember the original thing I was going to say, but I did want to compliment you on last night's... I only listened to the first part of the show with the interview with Tony Robinson.
Tony Robinson, wasn't he good? Wasn't he good? Good value. What a lovely, lovely man. His book, I cannot recommend his book highly enough. Honestly, and it's, I'm not towing the company line. I don't need to. It's such a good book. Absolutely well worth every penny.
Oh, it's great to listen to him. I mean, he comes across as nice as he is on the TV.
You know? He was absolutely delightful. Me and Kath were both charmed by him.
What a treat for you. I mean, I know you obviously you get a lot of guests on that you might, I don't know, you might find as enjoyable. But I thought he's got to be by far the best guest you've had on.
It was one of my favourite hours of radio that I've done here, and probably one of my favourite hours I will look back was out of all of them. Yeah, it was great, absolutely great. Yeah. And we hardly... the thing as well, what was great is I'm always aware when a guest comes on and I've read their book, I don't really want them to tell the same stories that are in the book. And he didn't. I think he told 2 stories that are in the book, and the rest of it was all kind of fresh, new stuff. And I think he enjoyed it. I messaged him earlier on Twitter, and he said, thanks for that, Tony. I thoroughly enjoyed it. He said, yeah, it was great. Twitter seemed to like it too. Love to crazy Miss Havisham.
Oh, how
rude. That's you he's talking about.
Wow. It was crazy Miss Havisham.
Apparently that's me.
That's Catherine, yes.
Oh, right. I thought it was Aunt Sally, but...
You're obsessed.
Don't you start.
Steady.
Hey, how do I go about getting a Talk Radio mug?
You have to...
You played John Holmes's competition.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to play. I don't.
Well, then you don't get one.
You don't want to play. You don't
I'll
get.
play your competition.
There is no competition. We don't give away mugs.
I'll do anything.
Anything.
I'll tickle your balls.
Oh, why don't you just phone John Holmes, you weirdo?
Because he wants to tickle my balls.
Late night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yes, Edward, what you got for us?
It's the films, Ian, the films. Film reviews.
Yes?
I get sucked in by you. You begin explaining the films that you've been watching and you've been enjoying.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's what I've been looking forward to. I'll catch up on that one this Christmas.
Yes.
And then you get through the beginning of the film, you get through the middle of the film, and you graphically describe the last scene of the film. It's fantastic. So that's 4 films you've done in the last couple of shows.
Well, I did say, if you're referring to when I was describing Whiplash, I did say spoiler alert 3 times.
Yeah, that was the bit I was sucked in through that bit. I wasn't.
Well, that's your problem.
Well, there was one yesterday as well.
Well, no, but I always say spoiler alert. That's your problem if you carry on listening. I've said spoiler alert.
But the only other thing was Tony Robinson, when he told me his age.
Yeah.
70, I couldn't believe it.
70 years old. Spoiler alert, Tony Robinson is 70 years old. 70 years old. Well, I watch films, Ed, so that you don't need to.
Well, that's how I feel now, so I'm quite pleased I'll catch up on other things.
Any films that you want me to watch for you, let me know.
I even watched the Kung Fu one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What happened to Film Ring? Is it still going on?
I don't know. I don't think we'll do any more live film rings.
Really?
I don't think so, because I just don't know. We talked about this.
From listening to it, it sounded awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just lazy, and eventually I'm the type of bloke that will eventually get round to going to it. Well, I will do it.
We'd never say never. We've been offered a really good venue.
I think it's about a really good film first.
Yeah, well...
Well, yeah, that's what we're waiting for.
I need to get a shiver down my spine as I'm watching a film. But also, the film ring that we did, I just don't know how we'd top it. We had 2 surprise guests up our sleeve.
Absolutely wicked.
Yeah, it was incredible. We had 2 surprise guests up our sleeve. We had an awesomely bad kung fu film, and we had a live link up with on Skype with the director. So I just don't know how we'd top that. So we're focusing on Performance Ring for a little bit, although the one at the end of February will be the last one for a while.
Whereabouts is it?
London. Although Oh, remind me.
I live in London. It's Dulwich somewhere. Were you doing it?
No, Islington.
Oh, Islington.
Which has all been flooded now. Islington has been flooded. But remind me tomorrow, we need to find a venue in Birmingham or the West Midlands, because the two places I was looking at haven't really delivered the goods. So we might be doing one doing something in Birmingham.
Brian, nice.
I hope that answers your question, Ed.
Yeah, it does. Thanks for that, Ian.
Thank you very much indeed. Spoiler alert. If you hear someone say spoiler alert and it's a film that you think you might want to watch, I would say leave the room for about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. I would say leave the room for about 5 minutes. If someone, the last 15 minutes of the show, can someone phone in and tell me what film I should watch tomorrow?
So you're going to watch Bowfinger?
I can't be bothered.
Oh.
Actually, I've got a busy day tomorrow. We've got the works Christmas party. I can't flipping it. I've got to wear a suit, but none of the suits fit me anymore because I'm a fat git. I've written here. What does that say? Let's have a little look. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Oh, you seen this? This is brilliant. This dad, right, he gets his kids draw pictures and they're rubbish because kids can't draw. And so he draws pictures of like, the kid will draw a picture of like a car. But you know how old is the kid? 5.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. A dad... 7 and 5. So you know kids draw pictures like just terrible. And then the dad using computer technology makes the things look real.
All right.
I can't describe it, you describe it. But they're brilliant. He's an absolute genius.
Daddy creates hilarious real-life images from his son's drawings. Has won more than 101,000 Instagram fans. All right, so... Wow. So imagine an elephant that looks more like a potato with a kind of smiley face, 2 eyes and a smiley face, and then like the trunk coming out of the side of its cheek.
Yeah.
And the tail is somewhere kind of like on a really overhanging backside.
And he's made it look real. He's made a real version of it.
And the cat, again, looks like a hairy sausage with eyes.
What's that thing in the middle with the tiny head?
A bear.
Oh, is that a bear?
Yeah, again, a hairy sausage with a smaller potato on top with fangs.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
So good.
It's things like that. You show the Facebookers. It's things like that that make me think I'm a rubbish dad. Have you seen? There's one guy who he works. He does like computer effects for movies in Hollywood, and so he's filmed like his kid, just like.
I've seen one blowing stuff up.
Well, no, this one he's filmed his kid like just sort of climbing along the banister, right? And then like it swipes, and suddenly there's like volcano and lava all around it. Or there's a picture of his kid, and his kid's just like jumping about like on the living room floor, and it swipes, and he's jumping onto rocks, and there are sharks snapping up at him and stuff. And it looks like it looks real.
Yeah,
it looks absolutely real. It's incredible.
It's not that they're better dads; it's that they've got better kids.
Yeah, that'll be it. They've got better kids.
My daughter always comes out of school, and you have to take junk models, materials in. So it's like any old box or whatever goes into school, and I pray that she's not going to bring it back. She brought one out the other day, and it was like a box, and it had loads of glue all over it. It was that PVA glue, you know, that school glue that is delicious to peel off once it's Anyway, so it's covered in that, and it had like a toilet roll sticking out of one side, a matchbox hanging off the other with the drawer hanging out, bit of crepe paper stuck on it, and it was all like, you know, you had to hold it really carefully so it wouldn't be stuck on you forever. And I said, "Oh, what's this then, darling? Is it a castle? Is it a car? Is it a house?" And she went, "No, it's a sticky box."
Hey. Here we go. Look at this. This is. Here we go. Look at this kid.
Is that?
Well, that's weird.
Han Solo in the supermarket refrigerator.
Hang hang on. It's Action Movie Kid. It's called. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Look at this. So he's got a lightsaber.
Toys R Us.
Let's see it, buddy.
Just hack through the shelf. Brilliant.
Isn't it brilliant? Oh, the floor is lava. Look, I mean, just this is genius.
Kid on the sofa, hopping from sofa to...
The floor is lava. Yeah.
Isn't it good?
Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. Let me just tweet that link. The show is gradually coming off the rails, which is... Oh, hang on. Al, hang on a minute. Al says, I run a venue in Birmingham, boss. Well, hang on, Al. When I put out a plea... But when I put out a plea, like a week ago, asking for venues in Birmingham, why didn't Al get in touch?
Maybe he was busy running a venue.
Well, I'm suspicious of him.
Okay.
I'm suspicious of him.
Do you think the venue's going to turn out to be his cellar with a locked door?
Do you ever wonder what it would be like to be held? It would be so easy to capture you and make you a prisoner in a secret basement where the door was cemented shut.
I haven't ever wondered that, but it sounds like you have.
Well...
Why cemented shut? Why don't you just lock it?
No, well, so that there's no chance of you escaping.
Well...
I could kidnap you and Ed easily, right, and lock you in, like Fritzl style.
Why would you do that?
Well,
I mean, you find me irritating enough for the 3 hours you're here.
In all honesty, I've not thought about being Fritzl, but I have thought about being Fritzled.
Oh, God.
Have you never worried about this, Ed, about what you would happen? I've read that book. Who is that book? Kampusch.
Yeah, Natasha Kampusch.
Natasha Kampusch. 3,214 days or something.
And she still lives in that house.
Yeah. And I've often thought, and I've got my Fritzl book, which I've not read. But I've often thought, there's that film, isn't there, Room, that's out at the moment. People keep saying, recommend it to me. I'm not going to watch it. It's about a woman and a kid that are locked in a basement for years. And I don't need to see that.
Well, Silence of the Lambs, case in point, wasn't it? She was down a ditch.
Yeah, but that was Hollywood, mate.
Well, I don't think that's a documentary.
Well, no, but Room is a bit more realistic. You know, Silence of the Lambs was not realistic. Well, I thought Silence of the Lambs was a bit rubbish.
Oh, no, I thought it was chilling.
No, I thought it was... I fell asleep first time I watched it.
Gosh.
I was at the pictures and I was drunk. I fell asleep.
Well, that'll do it.
I watched it for the first time about 2 years ago, sober. And I thought, it's a little bit... It's a little bit rubbish.
Yeah, but it was the first time we'd seen anything like that before.
What? No, it wasn't.
Oh, I think it was quite shocking for those days.
The first time we'd seen anything like what?
Like, Anthony Hopkins.
We'd seen him before in Magic.
Anthony Hopkins do it, and it was really shocking. Like that bit where she walks down the corridor in the jail block, and they're throwing all kinds at her. Ugh.
You see that in every movie.
I mean,
and
it is
TV
a bit like
show.
walking through Talk Sport to get into the office, but flipping heck, it was horrible that. And then that one, was it Buffalo Bill that was saying it puts the cream on and then it puts it in the basket?
Can I just say, Nat Kimber, you do not get the chance to give away Brandon Lee and Kurt Cobain. On Twitter, trying to get. You can't. They're yours. You're stuck with them.
Responsible.
You're stuck with them. I'm tempted to give her someone else as well.
Oh, let's give her someone rubbish.
I might do. One more trolling tweet and I will. We've seen films like that before, Catherine. What on earth are you talking about? Here's a good film, and I went to the pictures to see this. Old black and white Robert Mitchum film.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
What was it called? Night of the Strangler?
It was called Cape Fear.
No, it was called...
Oh, my God, Cape Fear. Have you
Well,
seen
Cape
that?
Fear is what Silence of the Lambs is... No, Cape Fear is what Cape Fear is based on.
But the first Cape Fear...
No. Night of the Strangler.
I haven't seen that.
It's the one where he plays the vicar.
No, that's Cape Fear.
No, I don't think that is Cape Fear. Cape Fear is different, isn't it? Why won't these idiots call up when we've got really good questions?
Where he's singing that song as he comes round the corner with his hat on.
Chasing the Kids. That's not Cape Fear. No.
It is.
No, right. Well, if they're not going to phone up, I'm going to have a look.
It is. What are you going to give me when I'm right?
I'll give you the key to unlock Robert Mitchum. No, it's not.
Night of the Hunter.
Thank you. Not Cape Fear.
Not The Strangler either.
Oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Yeah. Honey, honey. Ooh, honey, honey. Ooh, you thrill me. Honey, honey. Ooh,
oh, yeah, that is a film. That is a film.
Honey, honey, how you thrill me. Oh, honey, honey. And I want to do. Oh. So I was right.
Well, you were
I was
right,
closer.
and I was righter.
Well, you weren't. Cape Fear's a completely different film altogether.
That's another film and a half.
Nah.
The original one. No, that Night of the Hunter, you're right. Rolling. That one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. That is a scary... That is...
Is that the one where you see the wife or the kid's mother in the car still and she's under the water?
Sure, why not? You know film noir?
Mm-hmm.
Does that just mean black and white films?
No.
What does it mean then?
It just means like scary stylish, doesn't it?
Scary stylish. They've got to be black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know either.
I don't
know.
know.
And I don't know. And I film was very film noirish. And I go, yeah. I don't know what that means.
Is it French? It's got to be French, is it?
What gave that away? The French word? It's got to be like a style, hasn't it? A style.
Tell you the thing about French films.
Yeah.
They look beautiful and all that, but in my experience, you watch them for ages and then nothing happens, and then something happens and it's the end.
Yeah. Well, that's France.
I watched one once called Ce qui m'aime peut prendre le train.
Ce qui m'aime what?
Ce qui m'aime peut prendre le train. Those who love me will take the train. I can't remember what it was all about now.
Well, and yet you bothered to learn the language. Well, more fool you. More fool you. Well, dear listener, the show, kind of bumbled along and then wound down, and I have nothing to say for the last 20 seconds, so I'm going to say nothing. Let's go. I'm getting bunged up. Ooh, honey, honey.
I thought you didn't like ABBA.
Is that ABBA?
Talk Radio.
We got entertainment, and we're not afraid to use it. Talk Radio.